It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay, good morning, and it's a little slick out there. A couple of, Dave, you saw an accident. There's one on the thruway I noticed coming in, and it's just a very wet snow is what we're getting here this morning. So be aware of that. I got a bunch to get to today. This morning, we will have in studio the superintendent. This whole thing is still continuing with the superintendent at Utica. And this morning, he really wants to focus on the good things that they are apparently doing over at the Utica School District. So we'll speak with Dr. Spence coming up at 7:15 or so. Maybe closer to 7:30, but we'll do that coming up in a little bit. And what else? Today is big, Davey, as we prepare for a big weekend. Are you ready for the Buffalo Bills?
Oh, yeah.
I did not realize it's been since 1993 that the Bills were in the conference championship game.
It's been a while. Definitely a long time since they've been in the Super Bowl.
2020 was the last time they were in the conference championship.
That's
game.
what I thought. You had 93 this morning.
I think that was the last Super Bowl appearance.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was 90 to 94 was the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I thought they were in that. They first hit that, and it was in the conference championship, of course, losing that game. And then in the divisional championship is where the last 2 years they have struggled. And here we go again with the Kansas City Chiefs. And even last week's game, although it was a big victory, even last week's game coming down to that potential tie going into overtime with the drop pass in the end zone at the end of the game. So
There's 12 players that were on the 2020 conference championship game that played in the game that have experience. All the other ones don't have experience.
that would like revenge,
Right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Deion Dawkins was on ESPN last night talking about it. There was 12, like I said, 12 players, and he says, let's go and get the Chiefs.
Let's go. 4 let's goes. That's
As you
pretty
can
big.
see, I'm supporting the Bills today.
I do see that. I got a bunch of comments to start already this morning. Mike this morning piping in. When I was 14 years old, I was building a spice rack in shop class. Now, I guess when you're 14, you build a ghost gun with a 3D printer. The parents must be proud. I wonder if the kid gets an A for something like that. A 14-year-old and what, a 15-year-old in the vehicle?
Yeah, well, 14, 15. Well, there's two different
unbelievable.
stories. There's one where there was 3 individuals, and then there was one where a 3D printer was involved, and a 16 and a 14-year-old. They're children. They're children at this point.
These are children. It's really unbelievable. What else do we have here? I mentioned Spence this morning, Dr. Spence. Willie Waffle coming up in a little bit. Yesterday, the Oscar announcements. We, of course, were at the Capitol Theater's Oscar announcement party. Boy, that one movie, that Perez movie, is getting a lot of talk.
It isn't.
Like,
it is indeed.
Everywhere I go, and we had a few listeners say, don't watch it. It's not worth it. It's the worst movie I've ever seen. There are stories out there saying it is the worst movie ever, which makes me kind of want to just watch it a little bit. But apparently it's pretty risque. Is that the word? Pretty risque.
Risque.
So we are hearing. Thought this was kind of an interesting way to just open up here this morning. Well, let me open with Richard. Snowed about 4 to 5 inches over in the Washington Mills area of New Hartford. Started snowing around 4 a.m., slippery as can be. Do we have any delays here? I know that to the north, especially to the northwest, there are some delays. I don't think we have anything.
I don't believe there
here.
are any.
And I thought this would be kind of an interesting way to...
the Utica schools are on a 2-hour delay.
Utica is on a 2-hour delay.
Utica Academy of Science and Utica City Schools.
As we said, it's slick out there. This is very interesting. And you remember when they were doing those UFO hearings?
Right, yeah.
At the congressional level. There has been there's a story out there that occurred about 10 years ago when an unidentified flying object was spotted over the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
And there was an aircraft carrier in the vicinity, and the aircraft carrier responded with a couple of our most modern jets. And they spotted it over the Pacific, and they're saying it broke the laws of physics. Now, this is coming from naval operators in the sea. This is coming from Air Force, 2 pilots who actually were actually close to it. And then through radar as well, backed up through radar as well. And what they're saying is it was a craft that broke the law of physics, traveling at 45,000 miles an hour.
What?
45,000 miles an hour.
Oh, my God.
Now, this was July of last year that we learned this. We're now just really hearing about it. And according to the FA-18 Hornet Squadron pilot, who came off the USS Nimitz to chase this thing, he said there were no rotors, no rotor wash, or any visible flight control surfaces like wings, he said. Our altitude at this point was approximately 15,000 feet with what he described as a tic-tac shaped spacecraft or aircraft, a tic-tac shaped aircraft, which was at about 12,000 feet. As we pulled nose onto the object at approximately half a mile with the object just left off our nose, it rapidly accelerated and disappeared right in front of our aircraft, right in front of our eyes. He said this tic-tac object was far superior in performance to my brand new FA-18F and did not operate with any of the known aerodynamic principles that we expect for objects that fly in our atmosphere.
So that's interesting. I mean, it's a different technology? I mean, is it...
It goes further in the story to say that it descended, according to radar, they're saying it descended 80,000 feet in less than a second. Now, if that were to happen according to our laws of physics, not only would the aircraft disintegrate, but so would it would kill the people inside it.
Wow.
However, somehow this actually has had occurred, and other than the possibility that it's a hoax, but now you have 2 Air Force pilots, you have a naval crew from the ground, you have radar, all witnessing this whole thing, all describing the same thing, they're actually calling it the tic-tac, not TikTok. It just does make you kind of wonder, right? That's wonder music.
Aliens.
I find this to be really...
it is fascinating.
And of course, it's Friday. I'm reading this at about 2:30 in the morning, and I'm like, we're going to lead with this. I don't know what you say after that. It's like
they're aliens.
We kind of feel like there may be something out there, but we're witnessing more and more of these types of occurrences that not only can we not explain, but we can't explain, if that makes any sense. Tony, good morning. What's up?
Good morning. I had a little idea for the Bills Mafia.
Okay, all right.
My idea is to get people in shape again.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to. Thank you.
Hang on. Mafia, which stands for Make America Fitness Insane Again.
Okay. Do you think that's possible? I really wonder if it's possible.
You could.
So, what do you suggest? Or
Well,
that's
I
the
suggest you
suggestion.
my suggestion would be, well, getting people in shape again.
Okay.
Getting a bicycle or a life cycle, sitting in front of the TV and exercising, watching reruns of the Golden Girls or whatever, and having that life cycle charge up to a generator to power your house.
Oh, we're even going further. Not only are we getting people in shape, but you're looking to power people to save energy as well.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Man. You know, it's funny that
20 minutes on a life cycle to power your house for an hour or two. You know what I mean?
It almost seems apropos that we've gone from my UFO story to this story.
Yeah.
A little bit, right? It kind of does.
100%.
UFOs, well, I hate to say it, to me, UFOs are government-made machines to just scare off the public.
You think? I do kind of wonder about this. And now we're also finding that President Trump signing yesterday an executive order releasing all of the information that has been basically top secret and not available to the public when it comes to the assassination of JFK, RFK, and Martin Luther King Jr. And I wonder, I'm thinking...
Do you think the assassination of JFK was real? I mean, look at the angle and everything. I mean, when you really get down to it, did he really shoot?
Well, I really feel like we should be about 3 hours earlier during the overnight than the...
If you listen to Jesse Ventura, he breaks it down in
So he doesn't think that there was an assassination? Well, clearly we know there was.
There was an assassination, but it wasn't the guy that
I see. Okay.
killed him. Was it Booth?
I've almost forgotten about Jesse Ventura. Where has he gone? But I will tell you that
he's back with the WWE.
You do have to wonder why do we keep all of this stuff so secret? Why does it still remain top secret? And it may be one of the great things done by Donald Trump. I believe he signed it in the Gulf of America. Where he signed the executive order. All right, Tony, we're going to let you go, but thank you. Maybe I'll get a stationary bike and start biking around 6:30 on Sunday. We'll see.
Yeah, power up, man.
All right,
Go
power
this
up.
weekend.
All
Hopefully they win.
I hope they do. Yesterday, I did watch a documentary on the history of the Bills. And you forget how unbelievably amazing O.J. Simpson was.
Oh, unbelievable.
The one season, he ran for over 2,000 yards. Really quite an unbelievable. He was the best in the country, even though the Bills weren't quite the best in the country. What else do we have here this morning? Andrew has an update coming up in a moment. There's still protests going on down at Columbia University. Only this time when these anti-Israel protesters came into a classroom, the students stood up and took care of them. And isn't it about time? I think if you're paying all this money for an education, and this minority of people are coming in and just ruining everything because all of a sudden you're going to end up, if it gets bad all over again, they'll have to go to remote learning all over again.
Oh, God. Which
is what ended up happening last year. And then we have one more. There's apparently a security message out there, and officials, and this comes from Forbes magazine, saying that there's a warning, an NSA warning about a security risk when it comes to location. So what is apparently happening on your cell phone, iPhone and Android?
When you they ask you if you want to be
tracked, and there's a setting on your phone, and I'm going to get to it and do a story on it later today. But what is happening, and this is high tech pricing. So what they're based on your current location.
Okay.
So say you're buying something online. There are some online vendors who are using your location to set the price for the product you're buying online.
Oh.
So it's very similar to what you would see if you go into into maybe a poor neighborhood or an inner city neighborhood where gas prices are maybe low. Yet you go to another area a few blocks away, and gas prices are 10 or 15 cents higher. Why is that? Well, they're doing geo-pricing. So they price based on neighborhood. And what the NSA is saying is there are vendors out there that are doing this. So if you live in a posh neighborhood,
you're paying more.
Or even maybe in the United States versus other countries that are poorer, or you could even see this to go further as possibly like Mississippi versus New York. They may be paying less than you're paying, and it's a setting you can shut off. And if it's shut off, they aren't able to do it. They're saying it could cost you hundreds and hundreds of dollars per year.
Oof.
And then this is also the time of year where you should take a look at subscriptions.
I did this last year. I'm going to do it again.
You may not realize what subscriptions you have signed up for or possibly forgotten about that you end up that you're paying for. So it's very easy. If you have an iPhone, I don't know how to do it on Android, but if you have an iPhone, you go to Settings, and then you click on your iCloud, and the fourth one down will be subscriptions, and it shows you everything you're paying for. A couple more quick comments, and I'll break. That hat the First Lady wore at the swearing-in was Barbara Bush's hat.
I didn't realize that.
It wasn't really. I think Wayne is saying it's the same hat the Quaker Oats guy was wearing.
Gotcha.
It could be correct. And then Mike this morning, did you watch last night's Jeopardy? One of the contestants was formerly from Buffalo and still has fun thoughts. And I didn't know this was a thing, but it is. And my wife's family is from Buffalo, and she said it is done. It would almost be considered something that would be almost a little scary if you didn't realize it was done in jest and it was done as a Buffalo Bills fan. But when his child was born, they built a little styrofoam table and gently lowered. Everybody stands around, almost like a seance type thing. Everybody stands around, but it's a baptismal. They're all dressed in Buffalo Bills gear. The baby is in Buffalo Bills gear. Mm-hmm. And they lower the baby down onto the cardboard or paper fold-up table.
Yes.
It breaks the table in half, and everyone cheers. Yeah. And the child has been baptized as a Buffalo Bills fan.
Oh, boy.
That is, believe it or not, a real thing. 6:37. Andrew has news coming right up. Stand by. We do have a couple of school delays. That includes Utica on a 2-hour delay here this morning. Andrew updates all of that and the forecast coming right up.
We're your complete appliance center, Dave Hayes.
Level up your cooking capabilities with a KitchenAid electric induction range. The induction cooktop offers precise control for a full range of cooking techniques. In the oven, even heat, true convection, and air fry mode allow you to brown and crisp your favorites. See the range that combines the precision of induction with the power of air fry at Dave Hayes Appliance Center, 5168 Commercial Drive, Yorkville, or online at davehayesappliance.com.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time, 6:39. I'm Andrew Derminio. Oneida County deputies are identifying the person who was killed in a snowmobile crash. According to authorities, 24-year-old Dylan Daly was riding near a trail in Camden Wednesday night when he lost control of the snowmobile before striking several trees and being ejected. He passed away of his injuries, but another person involved in the accident was not injured. It's believed speed may have been a factor in the tragedy. Hamilton College officials are giving a heads up to residents who live in both Clinton and Kirkland. Tomorrow, the college is going to be testing its outdoor siren system. The test is scheduled to happen at 11 a.m. and will last between 2 and 5 minutes. The goal of the alert system is to warn people who are outdoors or who can't be reached through other methods about emergencies. More details can be found at hamilton.edu. Residents of Ilion may be experiencing discolored water in the coming days. Ilion officials said those residing from Main Street to the marina could be impacted. The discoloration arises from the fire department using the hydrant as at the marina for essential training with new personnel. If you notice discolored water in your home, officials recommend running only your cold water to flush out your pipes. This process may take a few minutes. Using hot water will not address the issue and may fill your tank with discolored water, potentially causing further complications.
That's terrible. What some of these residents are going through in Ilion.
Yeah.
It is just horrible. And it is an ongoing problem that doesn't seem to be, and I get it, officials are doing what they can. It's basically an antique water system in places, but it is a real problem. And
without a doubt.
We got out just in time. Because we didn't have those problems when I lived there.
That is true. And the Buffalo Bills are just 60 minutes of football away from the franchise's first Super Bowl appearance since 1993. The Bills will be on the road this weekend to take on the two-time and defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, at Arrowhead Stadium in the AFC title game. Buffalo and Kansas City battled earlier this season as the Bills came away with a 30-21 victory. Kickoff for Sunday's contest is set for 6:30 p.m. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 6:42. Here's your forecast.
All right, snow showers are continuing this morning. Maybe some slick streets around, an inch or less of accumulation, but obviously as you go northwest, closer to Lake Ontario, you get into Lewis County and even on into Jefferson County. There have been a couple of more inches of snowfall with the lake effect. And as we go through the day, still some scattered snow showers. Mid-20s snow showers tonight, maybe a snow shower or two over the weekend. Mid-20s Saturday, but up near 30 by Sunday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, partly cloudy and 16 degrees here in Marcy. It's 6:42.
We have Utica and Utica Academy on a 2-hour delay this morning.
Yes, Utica City Schools and the Utica Academy of Science.
So it's slick, and as we said coming in this morning, there's some accidents out there. Vehicles that have slid off the road. There's one on the New York State Thruway. There's something about this snow that came down really in the last 2 hours that is quite slippery, so be ready for that. Willie Waffle coming up, streaming in the Oscar announcements yesterday, and some major controversy. Everybody's all up in arms over this. We'll get to it coming right up at WIBX.
Hi, this is Scott Hayes.
And this is Jill Hayes from New York Sash.
You know, honey, the first time you said, never let a window salesperson into your home, I thought you were nuts. But you were right.
Like there was really any doubt.
Seriously, so many people have told us how nice it is to shop in our beautiful showroom where there's never any high pressure.
Yep, and it's even nicer when we can help people save.
Like right now, buy 2 New York Sash windows and get 1 free.
We get slow during the winter and we need to stay busy, so you get the best deal we make all year. Buy 2 windows, get 1 free.
Buy 4, get 2 free.
Buy 6 windows, get 3 free. There's no end to the savings.
And there's no need to invite a pushy salesperson into your home. Instead, stop by the New York Sash Idea and Design Center, where you can browse at your convenience.
We're open Monday through Saturday on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
Buy 2 windows, get 1 free. But it ends Monday, so come in today. And as always,
let our family take care of your family.
Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs, but too few can access or afford them. Hers is changing that. At forhers.com/radio, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you, like GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, or oral medications at a fraction of the price. That's right. You'll save up to 91% per month on compounded semaglutide based on pricing through Hers, the same active ingredient as the name brand drug at 91% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees, just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/radio to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/radio. FORHERS.com/radio.
It's a winter wonderland of deals at Steve Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer. Drive in to unbeatable offers on vehicles built to handle snow and ice. Lease the 2025 Equinox LT all-wheel drive for only $369 a month. Or tackle winter with the 2024 Silverado Crew Cab LT four-wheel drive. Lease for just $425 a month. Hurry, these deals won't last. Offers end January 31st. Customers must qualify with top-tier credit through GM Financial. Lease terms of 3 years, 10,000 miles per year. Mileage penalty of 25 cents per mile over 30,000 miles. Lessee must have a current Chevy lease in the household. Customer must qualify and sign up with a new GM card. All taxes, fees, $2,000 down on first payment due at delivery. Equinox stock number 25230. Silverado stock number 24621. See salesperson for details. Find your perfect winter ride today at Steve Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer, where it's always easy to do business. Together, let's drive.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
I want to take you back just briefly to last week when Andrew was off and Megan was in answering the phones. Davey was sitting where he is right now in studio. You remember this, Davey?
Sure do.
I asked, we got a call from Lucia, and I asked Lucy how she felt about, because normally when she calls in, she talks to Davey. And I was asking her, how do you feel about talking to Megan as opposed to talking with Davey? And here's what she said. Good morning, Lucia.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing okay. Doing all right.
Ryan is doing his job. He's got to do what he's got to do.
She begins by talking about Ryan Nobles, and she is a big defender of Ryan. She likes Ryan Nobles. You let them know, don't holler at him.
No.
Let him do his job, you know? They do their job. It's garbage. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And look what he is. Look what he has done. And look what he does. I mean, come on, you know?
She loves it. How was your interaction with Here Megan we go. As opposed to Davey? Who do you rate higher? This is Megan.
Megan? Oh, Megan. I don't know about Megan. I'm confused about Megan.
Okay. All right.
I like the other lady. The other one.
Yeah.
But I don't care for Megan much. I think Megan is a gold digger. And a troublemaker.
No,
what
she's
been
not.
Doing. Well, that's my view.
All right, it gets crazy all of a sudden, and I like she's calling Megan Stone, who is basically the news director here at WIBX, a gold digger, someone who breaks up families. Lucia, what are you talking about? And then it continues. Expect that. I did not expect that.
And destruction of the family. That's it.
Oh, that's not true.
Are you talking about?
Everybody's getting.
Lucia,
No.
Lucia, are you talking about Meghan Markle or me, Megan Stone?
Oh, not Megan Stone. No.
Oh my God!
Are you kidding? What?
Yeah. I was going. What is this woman doing?
So at some point, she thought we were asking her what she thought about Meghan Markle, not Megan Stone. Well, there you go, Lucia. That was a delightful moment. Willie Waffle on the line right now. Willie, good morning. I don't know if you guys are getting any snow, but we're not getting a lot. But it's slick up here this morning. Good morning.
Well, good morning. No, we haven't gotten the snow, but man, it's been cold. I mean, cold, baby. Woo, cold.
Well,
It's one of those colds where I brag to friends in other parts of the country, like, dude, it's like -7 right now. You couldn't handle it.
Well, what you get is these people that are in Texas or in Florida and Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. They're all complaining about how cold it is. You know, it was 27 degrees here. It was 22 degrees here. And I'm like, it's 11 below right now. So
28 degrees, I wouldn't even need a jacket. What are you talking about?
In fact, we're going to get that this weekend. We're looking at that as a bit of a heat wave. So,
yeah.
All right. Have you seen the movie that is so controversial with the Oscars? This movie that Demi Moore is in, and
The Substance.
Well, that's The Substance. I guess she's not in it. It's the
so
Perez movie.
I think you might be talking
Perez.
Amelia Perez.
Yeah, that movie. Everybody's saying, everyone that I've talked to is saying it might be the worst movie they've ever seen.
It's a very artsy, out there kind of movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different kind of movie. I mean, and listen, I mean, I watched the Oscar nominations yesterday. I'm just going to say it. I think the Oscars have now just totally given up the idea that we want to honor the best in movie making.
Yeah.
It's now we want to honor the message we want to send.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Substance is another good example. I mean, these are not great movies, but they have a message that resonates with Oscar voters, so they're getting behind them and they're supporting them. Amelia Perez is just kind of it's to me it was a little bit all over there. And I thought the storytelling could have been better. I thought it could have, it wants to be genre bending and all that stuff. But, I think, having some consistency helps. And I think, we're going to talk about two movies today that will get no Oscar love ever whatsoever. But when you go to watch them, you're going to have a lot more fun.
Yeah.
And you're going to enjoy them a lot more.
Would you say it's fair to say it is not a good movie? Because I keep seeing headlines saying that.
I was not a big fan. I was not a big fan of it.
All right. No. And it is a musical too, right? On top of all of that.
On top of everything else.
and then one more thing on the Oscars. I really was incredibly shocked to find out that Demi Moore had never been nominated, or I guess had never won an Oscar or an award. Not just an Oscar, but an Emmy, a Golden Globe. She had never won an award until the other night.
Well, yeah, and I think the thing with Demi Moore, I mean, she was always a movie star, and when she did things that were supposed to be a little bit more serious or Oscar worthy, they tanked.
Yeah.
And so she once they tanked, her career kind of changed. And so this is the big comeback for her. This is her moment in the sun. You know who almost had one yesterday? This was my biggest surprise of the Oscar nominations. No, Pamela Anderson. She made a movie called Showgirl, which is actually pretty good, and she got nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award, and I thought she was going to get nominated yesterday, and it just didn't work out. That's another thing that happens with the Oscars, right? You have these people who have been big movie stars who have never really maybe been acclaimed or never really had Oscar nominations, and then they start to get a little bit older in their career, and it's like, hey, let's throw an Oscar to Demi Moore because you know what?
Yeah.
She's had a nice career.
Yeah.
Okay, what movies? You seem to like both of these movies, it seems.
I do. And I'll start with the lesser one, and then we'll talk about the one that everybody kind of knows about. So the lesser one is Presence. This is directed by Steven Soderbergh. It stars Lucy Liu. It's a family that moves into this house, and they start to realize it might be haunted.
They are not alone.
They're not alone. But it's not like some big, scary horror movie. It's a twist on that. Because what we're doing is we're seeing the movie from the perspective of the ghost. So the ghost is watching the family, learning about the drama in the family, seeing the secrets that they're all hiding from each other. And that's what makes it kind of interesting and kind of new and kind of different. And then, of course, one of the family members starts to realize there is something in this house, and that kind of starts to change the relationship. I'm at 3.5 waffles. I thought it was pretty darn imaginative and different and good.
And that is in theaters.
That is in theaters.
Okay. All right, and then the next one is one we've probably been following a little bit more, and that's Flight Risk.
Flight Risk, that's right. It's time for Marky Mark to get crazy, baby.
Oh, yeah. And he looks... is that his real baldness or what?
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if like, he's been wearing like some sort of toupee all this time and took it off for this movie to make it look like he was wearing a toupee only for the movie? That'd be hilarious.
Turns out he really is bald. Yeah.
This is Mel Gibson directed this?
Yes.
Yes, Mel Gibson directed this. I mean, and it's listen, it ain't Shakespeare, people, okay? But it's at least entertaining. It's a popcorn movie. All of a sudden we have Topher Grace. He plays this basically mob accountant. He's been on the run. He's been hiding like 90 miles north of Anchorage, Alaska, in the middle of nowhere. And the U.S. Marshals find him, and the U.S. Marshal is played by Michelle Dockery. And then they cut a deal. He's going to testify at the big mob trial, but they got to fly him back to New York. And the first leg of this is on this little small, two-prop plane that's flown by Mark Wahlberg. But he's not exactly who he says he is. And now they're trapped on the plane, thousands of miles in the air, and you wonder, how are they going to survive?
Wow, the drama. But this does sound like one that you could kind of lose yourself in and have a good time with.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, there's some weird soap opera twists and turns that are a little bit too much, but the general whole point of the movie is the tension and the thrilling part of the movie where they're stuck on the plane. They're fighting for their lives. Are they going to be able to survive? Who's going to fly the plane? Who can they trust? Who can't they trust? I mean, you get into all that, and I think that's what keeps you motivated to keep watching the movie. You want to see how it's going to end.
Yeah.
You're starting to root for the good guys. I did 3 waffles for flight risk. I thought it was fine.
Nice.
So it's why I appreciate your reviews, because you're willing to say, this is not going to be an Oscar movie. This is not some piece of...
Right, if you're looking for a piece of
pretty artwork,
fantastic nature.
However, this is going to be a movie you're going to like. You're going to enjoy it, and that's that. And isn't that what it's supposed to be all about? I guess.
That's what it used to be all about.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, now you just know when, even with the Golden Globes, when they're ready to announce the winner of a certain award, you're like, oh, this movie, this is all about the plight of A, B, and C and this indigenous group, and now they're fighting their way back. And it's you just know that it doesn't matter if the movie was any good. This is the storyline, the Golden Globe or the foreign...
The Academy.
Whatever, the Academy, the Oscar. That's what the message they want to send, not necessarily judging the movie. That's what kind of frustrates me.
Well, and I think in a lot of ways, movie making has become this. If you're not going to make a big blockbuster superhero movie, you are now trying to make a movie for an audience because the audience is so splintered. So you hyper focus on that audience and you deliver the movie they want to see. So that will propel your ticket sales and everything else.
Yeah.
So it is a modern fact of Hollywood. The way that Hollywood has changed, movie making has changed. The business has changed.
I wanted to ask you. It may have been 10 years ago. Whenever Disney finally took over the Star Wars brand, I remember you saying, "I worry that Disney's going to do to the Star Wars franchise exactly what they do with everything else, is they
destroy and ruin it.
They come up with more content, more movies, more TV shows, more fluffy things they can sell in the stores to kids." Don't you feel like the Star Wars brand has just been diluted?
It has been diluted a little bit, and I think that there's a chance to turn that around. Of all the extra TV programs they've been producing, all the new characters they've been producing, The Mandalorian turned out to be brilliant and turned out to be a great idea. And they're working on a new idea that will possibly be starring Ryan Gosling. Ooh. And it's a Star Wars movie that will not have anything to do with Luke Skywalker or any of that.
Okay.
But it's going to be their next movie. But I'm with you. I mean, you've got a lot of animated cartoons.
Yeah, enough is enough.
All the Disney Plus shows.
Baby Yoda.
They've gotten too much out of it.
Yeah.
I think they need to focus, and that's why you've seen they are developing actually like 4 or 5 different movies right now, but most of them have just been put on the back burner. They're just not going anywhere.
As always, we appreciate it. Stay warm down there, and we'll talk to you again soon next week.
All right. Talk to you next
Willie.
week.
Thanks so much. Willie Waffle, and we have news coming up next.
We're your complete Center, and we service what we sell. Dave Hayes.
Visit Dave Hayes Appliance Center to see the Whirlpool washer with 2 ways to wash thanks to the 2-in-1 removable agitator. With a flexible capacity, you can take the agitator out for bulky loads or keep it in for items like jeans. Shop now at Dave Hayes Appliance Center and get twice the washer you have at home. Dave Hayes Appliance Center, 5168 Commercial Drive, Yorkville, or online at davehayesappliance.com.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
538. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is the number we're getting from the White House of what it calls illegal immigrant criminals rounded up in nationwide immigration enforcement raids. Fox's Bill Malujan's been there for some of the raids in Boston.
We witnessed ICE arresting a combative Haitian man who ICE says is a gang member with 17 criminal convictions. And he had this to say.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Fox News witnessed ICE make a handful of arrests of other egregious criminal aliens. They include an MS-13 gang member wanted for aggravated murder in El Salvador.
They're also getting a Trump immigration executive order that's been blocked, aiming to end birthright citizenship enshrined in the Constitution, making anyone born in the U.S. an American.
A federal judge in Seattle saying this, quote, I've been on the bench for over 4 decades. I can't remember another case that presented a question as clear as this one. This is a blatantly unconstitutional order.
Fox's Chanley Painter. This morning, President Trump will take his first trip since returning to the White House, telling Fox's Hannity,
I'm stopping in North Carolina, first stop. Yeah. Because those people were treated very badly by Democrats.
Some residents in the Asheville area complain of a slow response and recovery in the September hurricane flooding disaster. Later today, President Trump will go survey the Los Angeles wildfire disaster. He's threatened to withhold federal aid, blaming water mismanagement. California Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democrat, calls that misinformation.
Maybe the president just doesn't know that there's not a spigot that can be turned to solve all the water problems that he alleges exist that don't exist.
Now tonight, Senate Republicans may confirm Pete Hegseth as defense secretary, though there were 2 Republicans who were against him in a procedural vote yesterday. Hegseth denies allegations of sexual misconduct and alcohol abuse. America's listening to Fox News.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Thousands of pro-life demonstrators are gathering in Washington, D.C. this morning, and they have a friend in the White House again.
A day before tens of thousands of anti-abortion activists gather in Washington for the March for Life, President Trump signed pardons for 23 people convicted of a federal law that prohibits blocking access to clinics. Advocates for their clemency say the protesters were peaceful.
They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted.
President Trump is expected to address the March for Life in a pre-recorded video. Justices nominated by him in his first term made up part of the majority opinion that overturned Roe v. Wade in 2022. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And those pro-life activists will not like this story, detailing another medical abortion alternative.
A new study shows a drug commonly used as an emergency contraceptive could be repurposed for abortions. Researchers found if they doubled the active ingredient in the morning after pill known as Ella and combined it with the drug misoprostol, the results induced abortions in 97% of participants. The results were about as effective as as a combination of mifepristone and misoprostol. The study was published in the journal Negem Evidence. The increased strength Ella pill could be used as an alternative abortion pill as pro-life activists work to limit access to mifepristone in several states. Tom Graham, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures down modestly the day after the S&P 500 hit a record high. At tennis's Australian Open, the men's final is set and Novak Djokovic is not in it. He withdrew from his semifinal because of an injury, ending Djokovic's bid for a record 11th Australian Open title. Alexander Zverev advances to the final to play Jannik Sinner, who just beat American Ben Shelton. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time, 7:05. I'm Andrew Dominio. Right now, it's 17 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast coming up. A traffic stop on Wednesday resulted in the arrest of 3 teenagers in Utica. On January 22nd, just before 6 p.m., officers from the Utica Police Department saw a vehicle believed to be linked to a recent shots fired incident. Officials say the stop occurred at the 1200 block of Taylor Ave. As officers approached the vehicle, they noticed the occupants making movements that seemed like they were hiding items. While interviewing those inside the car, police say they spotted the grip of a firearm sticking out from beneath the passenger seat. The occupants were taken out of the vehicle, and a search of the vehicle revealed a loaded 9mm handgun hidden under the seat. Following the investigation, police say 18-year-old Aisha Ha from Utica was charged with criminal possession of a weapon and criminal possession of a firearm. Also, a 16-year-old male and a 15-year-old male were both arrested and face similar charges. Residents of Alien may experience discolored water in the coming days. Alien officials said that those residing from Main Street to the marina could be impacted. The discoloration arises from the fire department using the hydrant at the marina for essential training with new personnel. If you notice discolored water in your home, officials recommend running only your cold water to flush the pipes. This process may take a few minutes. Using hot water will not address the issue and may fill your tank with discolored water, potentially causing further complications. Oneida County deputies are identifying the person who was killed in a snowmobile crash. According to authorities, 24-year-old Dylan Daly was riding near a trail in Camden Wednesday when he lost control of his snowmobile before striking several trees and being ejected. He passed away from his injuries, but another person involved in the accident was not hurt. It's believed speed may have been a factor in the tragedy. Hamilton College officials giving a heads up to residents who live in Clinton and Kirkland. Tomorrow, the college is going to be testing its outdoor siren system. The test is scheduled to happen at 11 a.m. and will last between 2 and 5 minutes. The goal of the alert system is to warn people who are outdoors or those who can't be reached through other methods about emergencies. More details can be found at hamilton.edu. And police are investigating after an ancient statue was found in a trash bag near garbage cans in Greece. A local man in the port city there found the statue, which is thought to be some 2,000 years old. The statue is 32 inches tall and depicts someone wearing flowing garments. It's missing a head and arms. The man took the statue to the authorities. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories. In Oriskany Falls, for all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Go to johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more information.
All right, snow showers are continuing this morning. Maybe some slick streets around, an inch or less of accumulation, but obviously as you go northwest, closer to Lake Ontario, you get into Lewis County and even on into Jefferson County. There have been a couple of more inches of snowfall with the lake effect. And as we go through the day, still some scattered snow showers. Mid-20s snow showers tonight, maybe a snow shower or two over the weekend. Mid-20s Saturday, but up near 30 by Sunday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Some light snow in the area, 18 degrees, partly cloudy skies at 7:09. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43, local contractors. Championship weekend in the NFL is guaranteed to deliver tense moments and high drama. With two big rivalry games, the final four teams vying for a Super Bowl 59 appearance kick off Sunday when the division rival Commanders and Eagles will face off. Then the defending champion Chiefs host the Bills. That's not a divisional rival. That's more of a conference rivalry. And
it has
sure
become
to be exciting.
like a divisional rivalry.
It has indeed. Yeah. Kansas City has made the starting date back to Mahomes has been the starter.
Mahomes has.
So Kansas City has made the conference championship every time
since Mahomes has been a starter.
Thank you.
Kansas City has made the conference championship. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Buffalo is seeking its first Super Bowl appearance since 1993. The Bills have been eliminated by the Chiefs in their last four playoff runs.
Okay.
The Jaguars have reportedly found their next head coach. According to ESPN, Tampa Bay Bucs offensive coordinator Liam Cohen told the team he's taking the Jags head coaching position. The Bucs were third in the NFL this season in yards per game with 399.5. They were fourth in points per game with 29.5. Cohen's decision comes after ESPN reported Wednesday he had taken himself out of consideration for the job and agreed to a new contract with Tampa Bay to become the league's highest paid coordinator. The Jags and general manager Trent Balk would go on to part ways shortly after Cohen pulled his name out of the running. Jacksonville and Cohen resumed conversations on Thursday, and he eventually agreed to take the role. Baltimore Ravens tight end Mark Andrews is breaking his silence following that crucial drop late in the team's 27-25 loss to the Bills in the divisional round. Andrews dropped a pass on a two-point conversion attempt with 1 minute and 33 seconds left that would send the game into overtime. He posted on Instagram that he is, quote, gutted by what happened, end quote, and, quote, devastated for my teammates, my coaches, and Ravens fans, end quote. He also showed gratitude to those who have donated to Breakthrough T1D, a type 1 diabetes research and advocacy group he has supported following the drop. What else do we have for you here? The Syracuse Orange basketball team will be on the road. Oh, no, they'll be hosting Pittsburgh tomorrow afternoon at the JMA Wireless Dome. Their record right now is 9-10. The Devils looking to build off the recent victory after taking down the Bruins on Wednesday. The Devils will visit the Montreal Canadiens tomorrow at Bell Center. The Islanders continue their 7-game homestand tonight. The Rangers have won back-to-back games in 4 of their last 6 after blowing out the Philadelphia Flyers 6-1 from Madison Square Garden.
All right, can I give you the Bills' history?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Because remember, it was a playoff drought. The last time they had been in the playoffs was 1999. And then in 2017, the Bills make the playoffs. They lose to Jacksonville in the wild card round,
that's right. Wow.
10-3. In 2019, they're back in the playoffs in the wild card round. They lose to the Houston Texans, 22-19. In 2020, in the playoffs, in the wild card round, they beat Indianapolis, they beat Baltimore, and then they lose to
the Chiefs,
the Kansas City Chiefs, 38-24.
Yep.
In 2021, they in the wild card round, they beat the Patriots easily. And then in the division championship, they lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, 42-36. In the 2022 playoffs, wild card, they beat the Miami Dolphins and then lose 27-10 to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow.
In 2023, they, in the wild card, beat the Steelers 31-17, lose to the Chiefs 27-24 in the divisional championship. And now, this year, they've beaten the Denver Broncos, they've beaten the Baltimore Ravens, and once again in the conference championship, they play the Kansas City Chiefs.
And your timing on the end of that story, a meme that I'm seeing on the internet, which features a picture of Josh Allen saying, "Dear Josh Allen, please beat the Chiefs. Sincerely, literally everyone in the world."
This is, I completely agree.
If you're not a Chiefs fan, you're rooting for the Bills.
I saw a meme that I thought was really funny. It was actually a referee looking straight into my eyes saying, the Bills have just been called for a roughing the passer penalty just days before their game with the Kansas City Chiefs.
I saw that one too.
And you know what? This this comeback to greatness, and I'm hoping it's a comeback to greatness, is very similar to the comeback that they made back in the 80s and 90s to go to 4 straight Super Bowls. Now, can you imagine if the Bills go to the Super Bowl, they beat Kansas City, they play in the Super Bowl, and they lose again? They would be 0-5 in the Super Bowl. So there's a lot riding on this right now. Quickly, Mike and Skyler on the Oscars. Michael, good morning.
You're just talking about, isn't it crazy to think that, so 94, that's the last time they were in the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were in there 4 years in a row. 94, Don Manley was playing with the Yankees in 94. That was the year they went on strike. Remember, they didn't have no World Series in 94. I was so mad that year because of that, right? And then,
well, it was 1993. They were but because you're right, it was the 93 season, but it was January 30th, 1994 was the Super Bowl. That's when they lose to and I was at this game when they lost to the Cowboys, 30-13 in Pasadena. Yeah.
It's crazy to think that.
Terrible.
It'd be interesting to see him win. I'd like to see him win Sunday to get to the Super Bowl and see if history is made finally.
And actually, I may be wrong. That Dallas game was not in. I don't know where that was played. Pasadena game was played in 1993. So either way, it's 4 straight losses. I mean, no one's ever done that before. 4 straight runs to the Super Bowl. No one's never done that before.
Impressive.
I know. And that's amazing too. Just to get there 4 years in a row. Absolutely. But I wanted to comment too. I do want to see that Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan. I've not seen it, but I've heard a lot.
It's
about
excellent.
It.
It's really good.
That looks really good. I did see Wicked. My daughter wanted to watch that, so I watched it. Just watched that last week.
That was actually really good.
Yep.
We've seen the play. We've seen it live on. Actually, we were in London and saw it in London. It was
really
an amazing show, and then to see it in movie form, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, it was really good.
And one last thing, when I heard the nominations, I knew as soon as I heard Demi Moore, I'm thinking, wait, I don't think she's ever been nominated, and she wasn't because I think about, and she's a good actress, but it's just again she never really. But another one that's funny. Harrison Ford has only been nominated once, and it was 40 years ago.
Was it for the
Indiana Jones?
Indiana Jones series?
No. It was Witness. You ever watch Witness? He was a police officer.
Yep.
And an Amish kid witnessed a murder.
That was a good movie.
That was the one he actually was nominated for, 1985.
I got to say, that's one of those
nominated again.
That's one of those movies that I've forgotten that I saw, and I think I could go back and watch again and be like, "Wow, this is a good movie."
Just watch
all right.
Again, actually.
I hate to do this to you, Mike, but we have
got to break.
We have Governor Hochul on the line. Do you mind if I take that call?
No problem. To tell the governor,
I will definitely do that. I will definitely do that. Thank you, Mike. Here she is, Governor Hochul. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Governor.
Good morning to you, Bill.
Good.
I want to
Her voice
assure
changed.
Everybody.
Yes.
Everybody should know that Josh Allen is going to get the job done this weekend and next. It's going to be Bill's Super Bowl victory.
I'm very excited about that, and we are well deserving. It is time. Let's get it done. Yeah.
We've suffered enough.
We have suffered enough. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Well, this morning, Bill, I'm calling to respond to the critics, the keyboard warriors, attacking my State of the State address.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of them out there.
Yeah. Oh, this is the governor. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And, Bill, one guy on Twitter, he called the dancers at my speech the worst thing that happened to dance since Chris Christie tried twerking.
It was kind of out of place. I don't know that I've ever seen a State of the State where there was music and dance, but yeah. Well, listen.
I know, but there's just a lot of dancing in politics now. But those dancers, they were supposed to be, it was supposed to be Congressman Jerry Nadler doing a solo from the movie Dirty Dancing.
He's had the time of his life.
He did. he pulled his hamstring putting on his tights, and we had to go another way. But it is rough online. It's rough out there,
It
Bill.
is. It is not easy. People will say anything online.
Yeah, a guy on my Facebook said he'd like to see Smokey the Bear waterboard Gavin Newsom. And I wrote back, because Gavin's a friend of mine, I said, do you leave Gavin alone? He doesn't have any water.
That's right.
What are they going to do? Yeah.
There's none left. You can't waste it on that. That is absolutely true.
Yeah. But it's a busy morning. I just wanted to get in here. But let me trot out one of my own accomplishments, and then I'll get out of your hair.
All right, Governor.
This is from the speech. Everybody should know this. I want to emphasize that in just the last few years, my administration has spent $7 billion on child care, and that child is thrilled.
Governor, that's quite a bit of money for one person.
I think the attacks on you, Governor, are just not
just
fair.
not
That's
fair.
all I'm going to
It's
say.
not fair.
No.
I've done the best I could.
You have, and I appreciate your support for the Buffalo Bills. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
All right.
Bills by 7.
Bills by 7. All right. You heard it from
Lock
the governor.
it up, baby. Lock
All right.
it up.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Bill.
You have a wonderful weekend, and go Bills. All right. Coming up, we'll speak with Sheriff Davey, shaking his head. You did not approve of that, Davey. You're the one that sent them through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like her at first.
At first.
Yeah. Second.
She's got a little cold.
Or third.
Yeah.
Got a break. Coming up, we'll speak with Sheriff Rob Maciol. Yesterday was at the big Sheriff's Association, New York State Sheriff's Association conference. And then we'll speak with Dr. Christopher Spence from the Utica School District. And there's been a lot of talk there, whether it be about a principal who is no longer a principal in the district, or other things that in some cases Mr. Potter has talked about. And like I said, I'll repeat again, I do feel bad for Howard Potter, as I do believe there are people in his ear, and I think he's trying to do the right thing. Unfortunately, he's only hurting himself, because he's kind of doing other people's dirty work, I'm afraid. Howard, I'm telling it like it is. I apologize. Quick break. We'll come right back with Sheriff Maciol on WIBX.
We've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays, but now we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available in both tablets and as a delicious gummy. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
The new year means new health goals, not just for your body, but your finances too. Your personal info is in so many places that are outside of your control. It only takes one mistake, and not even your mistake, to expose you to identity theft and lost funds. If your identity's stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back, and resolve to make identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
If you've ordered a Tempur-Pedic mattress somewhere other than Mattress Express and have waited 7 days or longer for delivery, stop waiting, cancel it, bring the receipt to Mattress Express. We'll give you a sale price or a $200 prepaid Visa card and get it delivered fast.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Hey, it's Bill Keeler from WIBX. Join Newport Mayor Mark Butler and restaurateur Rocky Fiato for the NFL Conference Championship Tailgate Party. $30 ticket gets you a tailgate buffet plus a chance at prizes. Benefits Feed Our Vets, Herkimer County Humane Society, and Herkimer County Hunger Coalition. The Conference Championship Tailgate Party, Sunday at Waterfront Grill, sponsored by WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years in 2025.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, a little slick out there, and we'll have Sheriff Maciol talk about that right now before we do anything. In studio right now, Sheriff Rob Maciol. Good morning.
Good morning. It is slick, especially the intersections. Got to be real careful.
Something about this snow or whatever was on the ground on the roads before. I think
it's
know.
a perfect combination of the right temperature, and the type of snow we got. And I don't know if anybody saw it yesterday, but there was a rainbow yesterday during the flurries.
I saw that.
It's called a snow bow or
yesterday
something.
Evening.
Never heard of it before in my life. And my wife actually called me, and she was on her way home from work. She's like, "You're not going to believe this. I see a rainbow out in the snow." And I'm like, "What?"
I know, it was nuts. I did see something like, I thought it was just a hallucination.
No, it was
Is
there.
there hope after all?
I think so.
Wow.
I think so.
Okay, so you're in Albany. First of all, you've been unanimously voted back onto the executive committee there.
Yes. It's exciting. It's my 5th year in a row of being elected back to the executive committee. I worked my way up through the ranks at the association, serving as president in 2019. And then since then, I've been reelected each year to the executive committee. And it's, the Sheriff's Association, it's a very unique group. We're small, but we're mighty. There's only there's 62 counties. There's 57 sheriffs because obviously the 5 boroughs in New York, there's only one sheriff of New York City.
Right.
Wow, okay. That cover all 5 boroughs. But
what a job.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want that job.
You have an interesting array of sheriffs.
We go from Clinton County to New York City. It's we talk, and it's really neat. But we have a significant amount of lobbying power. Not all the sheriffs are elected. Out of the 57, I believe 55 of them are elected, 2 are appointed.
Okay.
And the sheriff of New York City is actually appointed by the mayor. But the 55 or so elected, we can say what we want because we work for the people of our county. We don't answer to a mayor or a town supervisor.
Sure.
And we do pretty well lobbying next door. But we had, so again, it's an honor to serve. We all work together for, things that are mutual concern to all of us. And we got some pretty scary briefings while we were there too.
So that's the interesting part. You think of these events as being more formality, and but while there, you had a security.
Yes,
briefing.
we meet with a ton of vendors about new products coming out. We also do some training. We have updates on new laws that are coming. We plan our legislative lobbying activities for the year. But we also get classified briefings, and 2 topics that were brought to our attention. Pretty scary stuff. One is the northern border crossings.
Yeah.
Definitely is something of significant concern. And the other thing is drug trafficking coming out of Mexico, which obviously leads back to China.
Makes its way back here.
Scary stuff. Fentanyl. Just the amount of people. 110,000 people last year were died of overdose.
That's unbelievable.
Who gave the briefing?
Drug briefing came from the DEA.
Okay.
And the border crossing briefings came from Border Patrol. Yeah.
So this is something that gets very little attention.
The northern border.
The northern border.
The northern border is it's wide open, and I think the one thing that and they're doing a ton of captures, Border Patrol. But I think everyone's more concerned about the ones that aren't being captured.
Yeah. I was told
they
that
have all the because when they get captured, they do get vetted somewhat.
Yeah.
And we're aware of who they are, and we're aware of at least their destination. it's the ones that aren't getting caught, obviously, are the bigger concern.
And I spoke to a farmer who up there on his property, there is a trail where you can see them crossing. It's to the point where there's so many, and you see clothes being thrown when they reach their destination into the United States. And he said there's two types, and mainly there would be the Hispanics who often come in and call for an Uber or hike somewhere, and they're most likely looking for work. And then there is another population that gets picked up usually with an SUV.
Things are prearranged.
And oftentimes Middle Eastern. And you wonder what's going on there.
Yeah, and it's scary, and obviously I can't get into the details that we were given, but there's definitely going to be a lot of work ahead to make sure our country is secure. And you get into Vermont. I mean, there's mountainous regions where there's no cell service, there's no roads, there's no nothing. And a lot of crossings are happening there that we don't even know about.
Right.
No clue what's
that's
happening.
crazy.
The one thing that I would imagine would slow things down a little bit is 25 below zero.
Well, they've also had multiple people who have been found dead, deceased.
That's insane.
Frostbite, amputations because of the frostbite, things of that sort. So it's actually sad in a lot of cases too.
Yeah.
But while just one last thing, snowmobile safety. Unfortunately, we had our first fatal of the year. Lewis County just had one a couple days before us. Speed appears to be a factor. These snowmobiles come out of the crates doing over 100 miles an hour. You really got to know what you're doing. You got to know the terrain. You got to know the trails. When you're ejected off a snowmobile and you collide with a tree, there's no surviving that. And so please, everyone, be aware of that. And last but not least, respect the trails. We're on private property. 90% of our trails on private property. Got to stop littering. Got to stop the loud pipes in the middle of the night, the loud exhaust. And you got to stay off the private property. Stay on the groomed trails. That's why these snowmobile groups are volunteering their time. They're working their butts off, keeping these trail systems beautiful. Stay on the trails.
We had your lieutenant yesterday talking about this blue envelope, which I think is
an awesome thing.
You see these stories where something went bad, an interaction with police somewhere in America that went bad, and it's a communication issue, and oftentimes it's someone who has a disability of some sort and doesn't communicate well or reacts with panic. And this blue envelope really can, I think it's a brilliant idea.
One side's got information for the police. The other side's got information for the person who's carrying those documents. And it's a item that cost our association 14 cents each. So it's money well spent.
That's awesome.
It has gotten incredible traction. I want to say thank you to you guys and to all the other media outlets out there across the state. I mean, literally, we placed an order for 10,000 envelopes, the State Sheriff's Association, and we just had to order another 10,000 more.
Wow. It's a great idea.
I never knew it, but 1 out of 3 teens with autism have driver's licenses.
Never knew. And there are many that are young adults or even later adults that were diagnosed later in life.
Exactly.
And they get pulled over, and oftentimes
Things
do
can
not
go bad.
follow instructions, and that can end up really.
That's actually how I built my relationship with the 2 autism groups that we work with here in Oneida County, through a negative interaction with a member of law enforcement and one of these children when they were nonverbal. And again, that's something like going through my career. I was never trained on that sadly, until about 5 years ago. And I've been on the job 36 years.
So the police officer is taking it as resistance.
Someone's resisting or being not cooperative. But no, there's a lot of folks that are nonverbal.
Yeah. Okay. Jay has a question for you. Jay, you're on with Sheriff Rob Maciol.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. What do you have?
Hey, I was just wondering with the sheriff. I got a friend of mine who lives in Oneida County, and he's got a problem with some dogs running white-tailed deer. And he said, I'm going to shoot them. I says, well, there's somebody's pets. I don't think that's a good idea. Is there a leash law this time of year? I know that a dog will run a white-tailed deer into the ground and eventually kill it.
I always thought that if a dog is chasing a deer, the landowner could shoot the dog.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Okay, good.
No, I wouldn't recommend that. No.
All right. Alice, I just want to send a message.
Not a good idea.
Send a message to my wife right now who's in the backyard. Right. Don't do it.
Don't do it. I know a dog can run for miles. Deer, they run a short distance and they get winded fairly fast. And obviously, They're running in some fairly deep snow. I mean, I tried to locate the dogs by recognizing them, driving up and down the road, seeing who's there, but God knows these dogs are coming from 5 miles away,
Yeah. Sheriff.
Sure. I've obviously give law enforcement a call. You can. I'm not sure where you are, Jay, but you can call us. You can call obviously DEC. Most towns are required to have a animal. Well, they are required to have a dog control officer. Not all towns have leash laws, but obviously there's NCON laws that kick into play when we're talking about this specific topic. But if you want to give me a call offline, 765-2200. Let me know where that is, and we can make some contacts for you.
Yeah, with the amount of snowfall we got, we got it pretty rough as it is, without being chased by some dogs, just trying to.
And what
strength is going down quick with no food,
And often happens is that a leg gets broken, and we had one in our backyard where the leg was just dangling, and the thing was, that probably is not going to end well. But I believe the word is you're supposed to leave it alone and let nature take its course.
Yeah, you do.
So, all right.
All right, well, thanks for your service, Sheriff, and y'all have a great weekend, and go Bills.
All right,
thank you.
Go Bills. Thank you. Thank you. It's a big one. All right, Sheriff, thank you.
Sounds good, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
We'll break. Coming up, quick news, Hobica's free money question, and we'll speak with Dr. Spence from the Utica City School District and answering some questions and really talking about the good things that are going on there at the school district. Coming up.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
We're your complete appliance center, and we service what we sell. Dave Hayes.
Visit Dave Hayes Appliance Center to see the Whirlpool washer with 2 ways to wash thanks to the 2-in-1 removable agitator. With a flexible capacity, you can take the agitator out for bulky loads or keep it in for items like jeans. Shop now at Dave Hayes Appliance Center and get twice the washer you have at home. Dave Hayes Appliance Center, 5168 Commercial Drive, Yorkville, or online at davehayesappliance.com.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time, 7:37. I'm Andrew Domenio. 17 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. Oneida County deputies are identifying the person who was killed in a snowmobile crash. According to authorities, 24-year-old Dylan Daly was riding near a trail in Camden Wednesday night when he lost control of the snowmobile before striking several trees and being ejected. He passed away from his injuries, but another person involved in the accident was not hurt. It's believed speed may have been a factor in the tragedy. Hamilton College officials are giving a heads up to residents who live in both Clinton and Kirkland. Tomorrow, the college is going to be testing its outdoor siren system. The test is scheduled to happen at 11 a.m. and will last between 2 and 5 minutes. The goal of this alert system is to warn people who are outdoors or those who can't be reached through other methods about emergencies. More details can be found at hamilton.edu. Residents of Ilion may experience discolored water in the coming days. Ilion officials said that those residing from Main Street to the marina could be impacted. The discoloration arises from the fire department using the hydrant at the marina for essential training with new personnel. If you notice discolored water in your home, officials recommend running only your cold water to flush out your pipes. This process may take a few minutes. Using hot water will not address the issue and may fill your tank with discolored water, potentially causing further complications. And Utica teens are facing weapons charges stemming from a shots fired incident on January 21st. At 7 p.m., units from the Utica Police Department say they were dispatched to the 700 block of Rucker Street to investigate the matter. When they arrived, officers found spent shell casings on the roadway and confirmed that both a vehicle and a residence had been struck. During the investigation, surveillance footage was collected from multiple locations, which allowed investigators to utilize the license plate reader system for vehicle identification. Ultimately, the vehicle owner was tracked to a residence on Mary Street. Several youth were arrested, including a 16-year-old male who was found to be in possession of a firearm, a 3D printer set up for creating, manufacturing, and selling firearms as well, and other evidence collected. In addition to the 16-year-old being arrested, a 14-year-old male was arrested as well. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time 7:40. Here's your forecast.
All right, snow showers are continuing this morning. Maybe some slick streets around, an inch or less of accumulation, but obviously as you go northwest, closer to Lake Ontario, you get into Lewis County and even on into Jefferson County. There have been a couple of more inches of snowfall with the lake effect. And as we go through the day, still some scattered snow showers. Mid-20s snow showers tonight, maybe a snow shower or two over the weekend. Mid-20s Saturday, but up near 30 by Sunday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, we're at 18 degrees under partly cloudy skies at 7:40.
We also should mention Utica City School District is on a 2-hour delay, and that includes the Science
Utica Academy of Science.
All right. We have the superintendent of schools coming in, and there's a lot to talk about from Utica, Dr. Spence. He'll be right in. Right now, though, it's Hobica's free money question of the day. And, Davey, we're looking at how much today?
200.
Okay.
He was really quick with that.
$200.
Is Hobica coming in or something? I don't know.
He's a little nervous about it. $200. And what caller number right now?
Caller 6.
Okay, quick speaker today, Davey. You're right on
What the heck?
Man.
$200. Caller 6.
6 caller right now, 315-736-0186. 315-736-0186. Your chance to win $200 from Hobica and WIBX is right now.
When you need surgery, you want a remarkable surgeon you can trust. Meet Dr. Lauren Smithson, one of Bassett's newest general surgeons. She and the Bassett team have broad expertise in many advanced surgical procedures. And Dr. Smithson is welcoming new patients in Oneonta and Delhi. Choose Dr. Smithson, a remarkable surgeon, and discover a team you can trust. Visit bassett.org/remarkable surgeons to learn more.
Hi, this is Scott Hayes.
And this is Jill Hayes from New York Sash.
You know, honey, the first time you said, never let a window salesperson into your home, I thought you were nuts. But you were right.
Like there was really any doubt.
Seriously, so many people have told us how nice it is to shop in our beautiful showroom, where there's never any high pressure.
Yep, and it's even nicer when we can help people save.
Like right now, buy 2 New York Sash windows and get 1 free.
We get slow during the winter, and we need to stay busy, so you get the best deal we make all year. Buy 2 windows, get 1 free.
Buy 4, get 2 free.
Buy 6 windows, get 3 free. There's no end to the savings.
And there's no need to invite a pushy salesperson into your home. Instead, stop by the New York Sash Idea and Design Center, where you can browse at your convenience.
We're open Monday through Saturday on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
Buy 2 windows, get 1 free, but it ends Monday, so come in today. And as always,
let our family take care of your family.
It's time for Still Alive and Kicking with Clifford Crandall.
I call it game day. If you read my column, you already know. This activity is about using your brain and your sense of humor. I am talking about board games. You and your family, friends, especially grandchildren, get together for fun. One of the great aspects of board games is the interaction and communication. This is a chance for you to teach your grandchildren about good sportsmanship in losing and in winning. There are so many games to choose from, like Exploding Kittens, Racco, Sequence, Happy Little Accidents, Throw the Burrito. A minimal challenge to your body, but you will definitely wake up your mind. This activity also cries out for cookies and popcorn. Enjoy the fun and the smiles that go with it.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, it's time now for Hobica's free money question of the day. It's a chance for you to win $200 from Joseph and Andrew Hobica, the Hobica Law Firm.
200 only, huh?
For all of your legal needs, 315-724-1600. Davey was nervous. Joe was coming in. 315-724-1600 for all of your legal needs at the Hobica Law Firm. Jerry is our contestant here this morning. Hi, Jerry. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
How are you?
I'm doing well. We're, it's going to be a sweltering 30 degrees on Sunday.
I was going to say, it's going to be warm today, too, isn't it?
I think it's going to go up into the 20s today.
Yeah, it's going to feel balmy.
It'll feel like we're in springtime. Okay, here's your question. Are you ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
This is for $200. From the R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly category, name the only mammal that can fly without a plane. Ready, go.
Oh, boy.
Name the only mammal that can fly without a plane.
That's a tough one.
Not really. I guess it is. It is. You had no idea, Jerry?
No idea.
Yeah, that would be the bat.
Bat.
Yeah, the bat.
Oh, it's a mammal.
Yeah. It's a rodent.
Yeah, it is.
Those things that
flying rat
somehow make their way in your house. They get into the attic, and then you find them sitting on a lamp in your living room when you're trying to watch Jeopardy, for God's sakes.
I saw one in a trap.
That did happen to me, by the way. It was terrible.
I saw one like in a trap, like they had set traps because they knew the bats were in there.
Yeah.
And it was stuck to the... It was dead, thank
One
God,
of the most, Jerry, one of the most embarrassing moments, this is when I lived in Ilion, one of the most embarrassing moments living there was when we had a bat in the house, and I was using my wife's tennis racket, and we could not get it, and we called the police to get rid of the bat because my wife was convinced that it might have been a rabid bat. So, yeah, I felt like such a you-know-what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, Jerry, we're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It is a $25 gift card. Go to the Comets games at Nexus, Aquavino, Taylor and the Cook, Babes, any of those restaurants. All right, so stand by. Davey's going to hook you up. You have a warm weekend, Jerry. Thank you.
You also. Take care.
All right, thanks so much. The bat. I really feel the lead into that, the R. Kelly category, really was a distraction.
I believe I can fly.
It was a bit of a distraction. In studio right now is the superintendent of schools at Utica and Dr. Christopher Spence. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Did you know the answer to that question?
I did not.
Okay. All right. Appreciate your honesty.
I'm from New York City. I said a pigeon.
I know they are like mammals. They can like communicate, can't they?
Yeah.
All right. So I do want to start out. You have a principal at the district that's getting a lot of this is getting a lot of talk. In fact, there was a TV story about an email that apparently went to a junk file, or I don't know what happened. But your response was Mr. Hobica's response. And can you comment on I realize we're probably dealing with an employee issue here, but he's no longer the principal. He's no longer, I believe, at the district. Is that true? What?
So we simply just don't comment on personnel matters for a myriad of reasons, So it's just not something we talk about broadly. Those are things that happen, internally within the organization.
Okay. That leaves me no other questions.
Okay.
Thank you for coming in.
All right, done. Job's done.
We'll talk to you soon. All right, fair enough. And I kind of know the answer to that because this is not the first time we've had a situation, and I don't ever remember a school district or really anybody when it comes to employee affairs being able to talk about what occurred.
Yeah.
Now, the disadvantage for school districts, and this is an issue, is that the school district cannot talk the person who's no longer at the school district can.
Yeah,
and it always
and
poses,
does,
and usually does, yes. So it always poses an interesting issue. All right. You wanted, we had you here yesterday or last week, and we pelted you with a number of, I like to call them Harry Potter questions. And that's not really what we call them, but you said I'd really love to talk about the things that we've learned, the things that we're doing, and the good things that are really going ignored at the district. So that's why you're here.
Well, I'd first like to say it's just the natural progression of things. When I first entered this community, I came here to speak about the 100-day plan.
Right.
So now, I've been here for 100 days. What are the thoughts? What are the findings? Where are we going? So, I just think that that's critical because, in addition to the work we do of educating students, we have to move our district forward. We have to move our community forward. The past is the past. We're moving forward, and there's so many great things in our future. So I'm excited to talk about what I've learned. I'm excited to let the community know, where we're going. In addition to that, I would be remiss if I didn't mention and thank the Mohawk Valley Junior Frontiers Organization. We had an MLK luncheon. I was the keynote speaker there. And, we talked about Dr. King's legacy. So I'm really invigorated this morning, just building off that high and that energy. And I want to give a deep shout out to them because they do a lot of work with educational attainment.
Yeah.
Providing young people with the opportunity to go to, college. And, just some of the institutions that they sent people to, some premier institutions. So proof of concept, and just want to tell them, my colleagues there, continue the good work.
What have you learned in your 100 days plus here?
Yeah, so let's just talk about what did I do to get the information? Because I started when we first chatted. I said, I don't know anything yet. I have to really look at the data, really get a feel for the community, the school, the people. And so just in doing that, if we just recap, we started off with 4 town halls in each corner of the city where we were able to issue a survey, meet with stakeholders and speak with them. We've met, in addition to that, I had 4 town halls at the high school to meet with students to get a feel for some of the things that they were, experiencing or an understanding of how they're experiencing the system.
Yeah.
We deployed a school culture climate survey. We looked at the we deployed a survey on the cell phone issue because of the the discussion at the state in terms of banning cell phones. And we've been in buildings, we've been in buildings, walking through the halls to get a pulse of what's happening, particularly at Proctor, it's more pronounced there, but throughout the district as well, just to get a feel for what is happening in the buildings, what are we seeing in addition to the data that we're collecting. I also want to thank the school board because in addition to, me walking the buildings with the administration, I had board members that volunteered their time to come and walk through those buildings as well. So just definitely want to give a shout out to the
So when you say walk through the buildings, are you walking through while school is in session?
Walking through. Yes, the time you want to be there. You want to be there when the kids are there. I actually like kids.
Inspecting the vacant buildings.
Yeah, so, we're going in there. We're getting in some classrooms.
Well, I need to make these things clear because this could go anywhere if we don't.
Yes, because you want to know what we have to. Is that me or you? Who's okay? Hold on.
Okay, yeah, I see you got a little.
Our job we really have to keep a pulse on learning. The organization, in order for the organization to grow, you really have to keep a pulse on the learning to really get in a full assessment of the activity. So we've been in classrooms, we've been in hallways, we've walked through the buildings, we've met with our building principals. This year we've been really focused on working collaboratively. We turned our admin council meetings into more like a workshop model to address and really study the complexity of the work. So it's been really good. And then in addition, I've met with just about every community partner that we have, every elected official and systems leader in the community. So we've been able to get that data. I've been able to learn a lot, and that's just the course that we took to learn that.
How different are we than other districts that you've worked in?
Well, I think that, each district is unique in that some of the work is the same and then there's some, nuances. So, one of the things that's the same is, we still have the same challenges with urban education, around student discipline and things like that. The school is a public institution. Everyone from the public goes through the institution. So any societal problems or challenges goes through the schools.
Yeah.
And it's our job to adapt to that. And I'm talking a little bit about that more when I talk about the work. So, for that part of it, it's the same. But the unique part here is that, we've got a good cadre of people, system leaders in the community. Shout out to the county. I met with them to just talk about our RED program. And we've got a lot of people that really want to see progression, not only in the district, but in the community. And we know that when a school district wins, Utica City wins as well, because we're creating the future leaders. So I think that's one of the unique things here. Also, our CTE programming, our commitment to creating robust learning opportunities for students and upgraded facilities. Look, I tell you, look, I'm coming out of New York. Our facilities don't look like this, and not to disparage New York City, but we have some really, really great facilities here, and I'm happy that we're committed to the capital improvements. So,
what were some of your takeaways when you were doing the walkthrough?
So when I was doing a walkthrough, we have so many great educators, faculty, and staff here.
Yeah,
but doing the walkthroughs and then looking at our data and looking at our priorities. One of our challenges that's leading us to the next phase of the work is taking all of this activity within the organization and braiding it into a cohesive plan that's jointed together and braided together tightly. So we're going to embark on our strategic plan, which is going to do that for us. We have to take what we're seeing in our classrooms, the initiatives that we would like to see to enhance our student learning, as well as the capital improvement projects, as well as the pathways we're expanding, and put that into a cohesive model through our strategic plan that will really tell the public as well as the internal stakeholders, this is what we're hoping to accomplish here. 1, 2, 3, and this will be the end product. Some of the other things that we are able to see just looking at the data is we have some, disproportionality in regards to access to, advanced placement courses and things like that. So it's definitely something that's on our radar that we're looking at.
Who doesn't have access to that?
See, I don't know if to say they don't have access. It's just that right now we just noticed that there is particularly, our minority population, we don't see a lot of attendance.
They're not using it.
Yeah, and it may be a question of access. It's a problem that we're studying.
Okay.
So when I say these things, I always want to, speak definitively about we understand that there's an issue or concern there, but we're going to study it because we got to intellectualize the work to see what is exactly happening. Right now, this is just descriptive data. We're looking at the numbers. We see who's not present there. So that's one of the things that we're going to study and talk about, expanding opportunity and access, if that's the case, or maybe it's about knowledge. We don't really have a firm.
What do you say? What do you say to the person, or maybe it's a parent that says this group over here is disrupting, and maybe it's a teacher. This group over here is disrupting so much.
Yeah,
we need to kick these kids out. They got to go because they're preventing the majority of the classroom from being able to take advantage of everything Utica has to offer.
Yeah, so just to state it plainly, our job is to educate all students. That is our job. The work here is for us. I think the challenge is when we look at society or we look at schools, we're so quick to judge the school based on the kid who came from, affluent parents, who came from good, and he went to the school or she went to the school and had great outcomes. We measure the school with how we take a kid who didn't have that and how they progress. If you can take a child that, based on, these their socioeconomic status or the makeup of their family dynamic, and we can make sure that they're successful, that's the true measure of our success, because our job is to make sure that we provide every child with an opportunity to receive an education. It might not seem that they're getting it now, but they will eventually get it.
Yeah.
And our job is to provide them with them supports. Now, if you look at just schools in general, where a lot more is being added to the schools for the schools to do.
Responsibilities.
Yes, responsibilities. The social emotional learning and development of students. It's our responsibility, and it's a task that, we joyfully will take on. But it's our job to make sure that when the students leave the school, because I think people think that the kids disappear.
Yeah,
they disappear. They're no longer in the community. They're just gone.
Right.
No, we're going to live with these people. These are the people that we're going to live with, and we want to make sure that
maybe are the leaders of the community.
Exactly. Future leaders. So we want to make sure that they have the skills, content knowledge, habits of mind, disposition and behaviors to be successful in a community and really make good choices. And that leads on to another aspect of the work, which is our $10 million investment into our system of care. The system of care to help provide students with an opportunity is in the school. If the kids are not in the school, how are they utilizing the counseling services?
That's an excellent point.
And those things.
Can you stay past the news break, and then we'll get into some of that. And I also had somebody still talking about the situation where Kathy Davis was brought on as a consultant for the district and was paid whatever that rate is on an hourly rate. I have, it's funny because someone close to me, it might be my wife, someone close to me said, well, would you rather have them paying an expert who can help the district move forward, or would you rather have Lulapola take the money and put it into wherever that money was going? It's a different district right now. And I would see that money, you look at that as being something that's an investment. We'll talk a little bit about that, but what you want to get to coming up. So stand by, and we'll come right back. Stand by. News.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
He's about to take his first trip as president again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and he tells Fox's Hannity this is why he'll go to flood-ravaged areas of North Carolina first.
We're going to get that thing straightened out because they're still suffering from a hurricane from months ago.
Flood victim Matt Van Swal tells Fox.
We've been yelling into the void, it feels like, for months that we still need help, And it was like, silence on the other end of the phone.
Fox's Jackie Heinrichs in Asheville, North Carolina.
There has been consternation that FEMA's disaster response has been biased against Republicans. Recall, the agency had to fire an employee after someone on its hurricane relief team said not to visit Florida homes with Trump signs during Hurricane Milton.
After North Carolina, President Trump will go survey the Los Angeles wildfire disaster as a new uncontained fire now burns in San Diego. He's threatened to withhold federal aid, citing water mismanagement. California Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democrat, plans to greet the president on arrival and counters.
It's very damaging when people believe such misinformation, and I don't mean it in a malign sense. Maybe the president just doesn't know.
President Trump also plans to address today's March for Life in Washington in a pre-recorded video as tens of thousands of anti-abortion activists gather this morning. The Trump White House says federal immigration raids nationwide have rounded up 538 criminal illegal immigrants. One of them was angry in Boston.
I'm not going back to Haiti. Trump, you feel me? Little Biden forever, bro.
Well, he's wrong. He's going back to Haiti. I tell him that.
That's Trump border czar Tom Homan, who also tells Fox.
You thought we had a secure border before? Watch what happens now.
Senate Republicans might vote tonight to confirm Pete Hegseth as defense secretary.
Even though 2 GOP members joined Democrats yesterday rejecting Hegseth in a procedural vote. Senators Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins voted no, skeptical about his qualifications for the job.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. America's listening to Fox News.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Well, there's no school again today at Antioch High in Nashville, Tennessee. 2 days after a student with a gun opened fire in the cafeteria, killing a 16-year-old girl, wounding another student, and then killing himself. Now police are learning more about 17-year-old Solomon Henderson after going through his writings that include him saying he wanted to take revenge on society.
Police searched Henderson's home Wednesday and found 2 writings believed to have been created by him. We obtained 2 documents as well. Some of the excerpts read, quote, "My goal is to kill at least 10 people." Police tell us Henderson was influenced by harmful online material.
Karen Aguilar with Fox 17 TV. An AI-based gun detection system in place in Nashville schools failed to detect the boy's gun. It did activate an alarm later when police showed up with their guns. A cop in the Seattle, Washington area is now a convict, sentenced to 16 years in prison for killing a homeless man.
The conviction and sentencing of Auburn police officer Jeffrey Nelson is the first under a Washington state law that makes it easier to prosecute law enforcement officers for on-duty killings. A jury found Nelson guilty last June of second-degree murder and first-degree assault for fatally shooting Jesse Sari. Nelson had been trying to arrest Sari for disorderly conduct outside a store when he said Sari tried to grab his gun. Nelson said he shot him in self-defense, but a witness disputed that, and a video shows Sari reclining away from Nelson after the first shot. Jill Nato, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stocks could drop this morning. Dow futures are down almost 100 points the day after a big gain that also lifted the S&P 500 to a record high. Drama at tennis's Australian Open. Novak Djokovic was booed as he withdrew from a semifinal match with an injury, ending his bid for a record 11th Australian title. Alexander Zverev advances to play Jannik Sinner in the final. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 8:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. Right now, it's 17 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. Oneida County deputies are identifying the person who was killed in a snowmobile crash. According to authorities, 24-year-old Dylan Daly was riding near a trail in Camden Wednesday night when he lost control of the snowmobile before striking several trees and being ejected. He passed away from his injuries, but another person involved in the accident was not injured. It's believed speed may have been a factor in this tragedy. 3 teenagers were arrested during a traffic stop in Utica on January 22nd. Officers stopped a vehicle linked to a recent shots fired incident on the 1200 block of Taylor Avenue just before 6 p.m. While investigating, police found a loaded 9mm handgun under the passenger seat. 18-year-old Aisha Ha and 2 minors aged 16 and 15 were charged with criminal possession of a weapon and firearm. Residents of Ilion may experience discolored water in the coming days. Ilion officials say those residing from Main Street to the marina could be impacted. The discoloration arises from the fire department using the hydrant at the marina for essential training with new personnel. If you notice discolored water in your home, officials recommend running only cold water to flush the pipes. This process may take a few minutes. Using hot water will not address the issue and may fill your tank with discolored water, potentially causing further complications, according to officials. And Spirit Airlines is implementing rules for passengers regarding offensive tattoos or sheer clothing. Spirit updated its contract of carriage, saying passengers will not be allowed to board or asked to leave if they have body art that's lewd, obscene, or offensive in nature.
What if they're just ugly? I mean, I wonder.
They haven't got to that point yet.
I wonder where we're going with this, right?
That also applies to passengers who are inadequately clothed, which is defined as see-through clothing, not adequately covered, exposed breasts, buttocks, or other private parts. The budget airline has previously banned barefoot passengers or offensive clothing. You know, my thought is with their impending bankruptcy, they want to encourage the scantily clad. So that
I would think. And the other
flights
part
are full.
is the seats are so close together. If someone wasn't wearing any clothes, you couldn't see it anyway. Their knees are up against their neck, for God's sakes.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I fit comfortably myself, but not someone like you or you. Anybody larger is, you wouldn't have a chance. Interesting.
That's right.
Okay. Forecast, Andrew.
Your forecast is according to the Weather Channel.
All right, snow showers are continuing this morning. Maybe some slick streets around, an inch or less of accumulation, but obviously as you go northwest, closer to Lake Ontario, you get into Lewis County and even on into Jefferson County. There have been a couple of more inches of snowfall with the lake effect. And as we go through the day, still some scattered snow showers. Mid-20s snow showers tonight, maybe a snow shower or two over the weekend. Mid-20s Saturday, but up near 30 by Sunday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel. WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now it's 17 degrees under partly cloudy skies at 8:08. In sports, it's championship weekend. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's sure to be tense and filled with drama. The final 4 teams vying for a Super Bowl 59 appearance kick off on Sunday when the Commanders visit the Eagles and the defending champion Chiefs host the Bills. Kansas City has made the conference championship in every year Mahomes has been the starter, dating back to 2018. Meanwhile, Buffalo is seeking its first Super Bowl appearance since 1993. The Bills have been eliminated by the Chiefs in 3 of their last 4 playoff runs. The Jaguars have a new head coach. ESPN reports Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator Liam Cohen has taken the job after initially turning it down, but with the removal of general manager Trent Bulk, that decision was overturned on the part of Cohen. Baltimore Ravens tight end Mark Andrews breaking his silence following that crucial 2-point conversion drop in their team's 27-25 loss to the Bills in the divisional round. He says on Instagram he's gutted by what happened. He's devastated for his teammates and coaches and Ravens fans, but he also showed gratitude to those who have donated to the Breakthrough T1D, a type 1 diabetes research and advocacy group he's supported following the drop.
That's the Bills Mafia right there.
Reports are Bills Mafia has donated over $100,000 to that organization.
The whole thing about the baptismal that Bills fans do of newborn baby, where they create this paper banquet table and they dress the baby up in Buffalo Bills gear and all the people stand around like it's some weird seance. They say this little thing about the Buffalo Bills, dip the baby into the table, which is made of paper. The table breaks.
And there you go.
And you have the baptismal into years and years of Buffalo Bills fandom.
I saw a video last week of a Bills fan literally jumping from the top of a tractor trailer or some very high device onto a table.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that person sees the game afterwards. Probably not.
Or remembers.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
We'll get into football later in the hour and talk about the weekend. We have Scott in Kirkville. Cully will get into it as well. And I want to read this one comment. Bill, you or maybe your wife sound like Howard Potter, lumping Lou Lapola into the conversation. I didn't realize Lou held the same position as your guest. Listen, the comment is the superintendent went down and was dismissed. There was all sorts of illegalities going on in the district. Lou Lapola was using district funds for, do I have to go on? The comparison is very simple. That crap is not going on today. It's a different district, and we'll get into that a little bit. And speaking of Howard Potter, I cannot resist. And I'll give you whatever. You can talk about whatever you want, but you got to give me this. I need to ask you about Howard Potter when we come right back. Fair enough? Okay. And then you could do whatever you want after that.
All right.
I'll leave if you want me to.
You could do the rest of the show if you want.
Stand by. We're talking to Dr. Christopher Spence with the Utica School District. He is the superintendent of schools. We'll continue with it. And if you have any calls, questions, 315-736-0186.
Anthony Constantino. He's a local boy, a businessman, and a job creator, not a politician. He's the CEO of Sticker Mule. When he put the country's largest Vote for Trump sign on the roof of his building, the Democrat mayor threatened to put him in jail. But Anthony Constantino stood strong for free speech and Donald Trump. He refused to take down the sign. Now he's running for Congress to fill the seat being vacated by Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. Constantino will fight to put our missile defense at Fort Drum, to protect our apple and dairy farmers, and to bring jobs and affordable housing back to upstate New York. Urge your Republican and Conservative Party leaders to support Anthony Constantino in the upcoming special election.
I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Hi, I'm New York State Health Commissioner Dr. Jim McDonald. I'm here to respond to lies being spread about the future of home health care in New York. There are businesses pushing a misinformation campaign to protect their own profits. It's meant to scare you into thinking that New Yorkers will lose access to home care. That's false. Your governor and I would never let that happen. So here's what you need to know. New York State has a new plan for a vital program known as CDPAP. Our plan will protect New Yorkers who rely on home care. It will protect vulnerable people from businesses that haven't played by the rules. and it will protect taxpayers from middlemen that have abused Medicaid funding. Our plan will deliver better home care service. If you're a CDPAP home care user, you can keep your trusted caregiver. If you're a caregiver, it'll be easier for you to get paid. New Yorkers will get better care and better service at a better price. That's the truth.
A message from the New York State Health Department.
Hey, Central New York, this is Will Kane of The Will Kane Show, and you can now hear my show every weekday at WIBX. I do things a little differently when I'm behind the microphone because I turn it over to the listeners to learn and really dig into the issues that impact everyday Americans. The Will Kane Show lets you keep ahead of the headlines and understand what's really going on in the world with in-depth discussions from leading experts and the brightest minds. From politics to sports, nothing is off topic. Listen to The Will Kane Show weekdays at 6, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay, in studio right now is Dr. Christopher Spence. He is the superintendent of schools at Utica. And over the last 10 years, the Utica School District has gotten a lot of news attention. And it does seem, and listen, if I didn't know Joe Habaika, maybe I could look at things a little differently. And some say, well, you're one-sided because you're friends with Joe. I know Joe, and I can only tell you he has spent the last, 8 years on the board trying to get rid of all of these things that have become just a part of that have been ingrained in the Utica School District. And I believe that everything, including this current board and you, this is my opinion, is all about making sure all of that never happens again. Now, someone will say, well, did Dr. Spence tell you that he's getting all of these emails from Howard Potter? No, I'm CC'd on them, along with all of these other people that I don't even understand why. So we see the emails coming through, and by the way, they're not emails. These are
novellas.
They're long. And now, unbelievable accusations that have been made about you, that have been made about the district and what's going on. How do you respond to Mr. Potter? Hold on. I got you now.
I'm just focused, here on the work. And I want to just talk about some of the things. So part of the conversations in the interview process, the board really wanted someone that was going to move the district forward, that was really going to work to expand access for all students and to make sure that we could provide a quality education for students. This board has, incredibly high expectations. We're in constant communication. And they understand that the work that we're doing is a multi-year process. When you're coming off the heels of, whatever happened, whatever the past is, you're going to have to work to build structures. You're going to have to work to, innovate the system as a whole. And you have to do these things in real time. And you also have to, address the problems as they come. And some things are immediate fix and some things are more comprehensive.
Yeah.
So I think, when you're talking about, what we're doing, all of our activity is based on how we are moving forward. The one thing that I think, maybe the public may not appreciate as much is that everything that we do in the district is highly regulated. So if the commissioner's regulations change, so too does the organization's approach and what the organization is doing.
Right down to discipline, down to everything.
And let's take discipline for an issue. So there's this, I'm going to call it a fallacy, the idea that the superintendent is not suspending kids. There's a process that goes through that. It starts with the building principal who has the authority to spend up to 5 days. Then there's a superintendent hearing that occurs where people gather the facts and information. A parent has an opportunity to advocate with the child, et cetera, et cetera. And if the behavior was a manifestation of the student's disability, that changes the outcome of the hearing. If it's the special education student, et cetera, et cetera. So there's just so many factors and regulations that go into these things, as well as a lot of information, because at the core of it, we are dealing with people's children. This is someone's baby that they are sending to school in with the best intent that they have because they want a better life for their kid. Regardless of who they are, where the parents arrive, that's what every parent wants. It's germane.
Yeah.
So, that's the level of work that we're doing, and in looking at that, I just want to expand on this point. I've had over 25 individual parent meetings with students that, will have gone through these hearings, just to get a feel for, what is happening. We've worked with our legal counsel to really develop a contract with students to hold them accountable, but also provide the much needed support to help our students regulate their emotions and do school. In addition to that, I've also traveled to all of our alternative placement sites. So when the kids go out of school and they're no longer in the educational environment at our district facilities, I've toured every one of those sites so that I can get a fuller understanding of what their education process is like for them when they're taken out of the district. Because I really believe that students deserve an opportunity for education and that you're better than your last decision.
Yeah.
So, that's part of the work. And in doing that, we're looking at how do we provide our students with the tools. Part of this work is providing faculty and staff with the training and tools needed so that they can address the challenges that we're experiencing in the school system. And then the other part of that is understanding this. These students legally, let's just talk about accountability status. Before we get to the moral argument, these same students, we're still held accountable for graduating. So if there's an ideology that we're going to send out a third of the children, the same people telling me to send the kids out will be the same ones saying, why is the graduation rate dipping for the district?
Right. Yeah,
this is what people aren't thinking about, down the line. We have to educate them, and they're going to enter our society. But, right now, back to the idea, just so I say this clearly, the idea that the superintendent is not sending kids out, that's just not true. There's no data to support that.
Right.
And I would know because I look at it.
Right.
And review it and analyze it. So I just want to say that. And look, this is an approach that we're going to take together. We have a newly adopted student code of conduct. We got to get trained on it. We got to implement it. We are also working to train our faculty and staff in restorative justice practices. And we're going to take a different approach. This same work is being done in other large urban districts too. So this is not something that's novel. Something we got to do.
And I also think that to ignore the fact that Utica as a city has a problem in the community, and I think you said this the last time you were here, and that community goes to school. Mm-hmm. So any of those problems that exist in the community, and I don't know which came first. Did the school come first? Probably it's in their time, in recreation time, where the problems occurred. It bleeds into the school district. And you end up, and then you have the police and social services and what have you, but you're probably the first line of defense here in trying to mold these kids and give them the hope that they can lead to ultimately graduate and lead a productive life.
Yeah, and that work is so important. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. My mother had 4 kids in New York City, expensive rent, over $2,000 in the 90s, trying to scrape by to get ends meet. And it was, educators like the ones that we have in our district that were going above and beyond, that, didn't give up on me, that said, you know what, you can be better than your circumstances.
Yeah.
And I see the raw form, and I know that if we are able to work with you, we can, refine you. So I'm here to disrupt inequitable practices. I'm here to move the district forward. I'm here to work in collaboration with our faculty and staff and our leaders within our school districts, because the superintendent is not the only leader in the district. We have teacher leaders, we have administrators, we have so many different people that we're going to work with so that we can address these challenges with the understanding that I've been very clear. This is a multi-year approach. This is a multi-year process for urban reform, and that's what we're doing. And I'm excited about it. Shout out to the community. It's been great getting to know everyone, so I'm excited about that aspect.
Did you get into a fist fight with Joe Habaika?
What? I think I'd lose.
I don't think you would.
No, that's not true.
Because that is one of the accusations that was put on some of these emails, which is, I know I just can't in a million years see it to be possible, but I did have to ask the question.
No, that's not true.
I'm assuming you have passionately debated, the two of you and the board, and
we work pretty well collaboratively together. Like I said, this board has high expectations, and they should, and I welcome that. I'm happy for that. They're also, these people don't get paid. this is volunteer time, you know. So I'm on the phone with these people a lot of the time, and they're talking about, you know, ways to troubleshoot, you know, and they've been really good thought partners in this work, you know, just because they've been here. They got a pulse on the community. So it's been great working with them.
It is a thankless job.
But for them, it's even more of a thankless job. They don't get paid. You know, they're doing this for free.
That's
so
the ultimate thankless.
Yeah, that's. But you want to know what? That's the tough part, because people see the board meetings, but they don't realize how much goes into just us prepping, or when we're doing a board retreat, just thinking about how do we move the district forward. And that's really the role of the CEO. You have to be able to look at the current circumstances and think 10, 20 miles down the road of where we're going to be and what are the steps we're going to take to get there. So really excited and happy to have them as thought partners. And no, I would have got.
In fairness to the community, they've been through a lot.
Yeah, they have.
This is the things that happened in this district. People around the state, and I imagine around the country, people around the state looked at this like, what? Could not imagine the things that were going on here were happening here. And I think it's not easy for, I think, people who have, it's just been ingrained in them. They've come to expect it. It's not easy for them to believe when you say, or when Hobica says, it's over. I imagine it's not easy to buy into that.
No, and I can appreciate that, you know, and that's why our job here is to do two things. Number one, to educate children and utilize every dollar, every resource I have at my disposal to make sure that all children have an opportunity to receive a quality and fair education. And the other part of it is that real community work is, you know, helping the community heal and move past, you know, previous transgressions. Because if we stay in the past, we won't be able to chart a path forward. We really have to organize ourselves in a way that we're moving forward, and we're already doing that. You know, it's a great segue to transition into our RED program. You know, I met with the community, did 4 town halls, brought the entire administration out with me. We went to every corner of the city. We looked at surveys. We analyzed the data. We spoke to so many people who said, hey, you know, we would love to have, you know, extended learning opportunities, which once were at some point. What are we doing? Next week, we are initiating our extended learning opportunity. Now, this was, you know, this again, I say this crazy superintendent comes here and says he wants to open the schools. It wasn't a budget request. You know, we had different leadership, but we scrimped every penny that we could together to provide a baseline of programming that we hope to expound upon, because the goal is to have the students in the school longer so that we can continue to engage in that social emotional learning work, providing the targeted assistance to students to help them with their studies and provide them with the skill set that they need. So the more time that we have with our young people where we're able to provide support, we're able to provide that academic support, social emotional support, the better they'll be the next day. And right now, it's about growth. It's about the students being better better tomorrow than they were today. And it's the same thing for the school district. We have to be better next year than we were this year. Right. You know, and that's and it's measurable in certain ways. Did we provide a baseline of professional development to give our faculty and staff more tools to deal with the things that we're doing? Are we making real life decisions based on the data that we have? You know, that's the work. And again, it's a coordinated effort. It's something that I'm doing in collaboration with, you know, our teachers, faculty, and staff and administrators, because the challenge is activity and productivity, two separate things. We got to take all the activity and we have to coordinate that in a way that's going to be as impactful as possible, because I only got the young kids for 10 months. Right. I got to do it. If we don't do it, who's going to do it?
Right. Yeah. Here's a comment quick from Sue in Utica. This is a 2-parter, I guess, or maybe 3. When will Kathy Davis let Dr. Spence call the shots? At most schools, you put your hands on another person, you're automatically suspended. There are XYZ steps to do this at Proctor, one of which is getting in touch with parents. Thus, very few get suspended because you can't reach these parents.
Okay, so that let me first address the thing about Kathy Davis. To assume that I am being handled, or the superintendent. Can I speak plainly? Can I just speak plainly?
Please.
It's almost insulting to my own acumen to think that someone is calling shots for me. I'm not a puppet. So, you know, the board, through our comprehensive interview process, wanted someone that was going to have a vision and have the skill set in order to lead and chart a path forward. So that I got to address that. However, like any transitional plan, when you have so much going on, such as capital improvement projects, you have a budget that was built that I wasn't a part of that process, that transition period is needed so that you at least have the information so that you can make your own informed decisions.
Just for
based
a
on
moment,
data.
just consider what has gone on in the school district in the last 5 years. I mean, really?
Yeah.
Show me a district that has to deal with what Utica has had to deal with here.
And in addition, this was the same in my last district. And again, in any district, because I came here as a superintendent, so it's the same transition plan because, again, there's a body of work that's here. Now, I didn't come here and say, forget everything that's done. I know the answers, guys. We're going to do it this way. I'm here to build on the successes that were previously accomplished and then start charting that path forward. So there has to be a continuation period. And again, I don't know where I got to be frank. I don't know where the idea came from that this person is working 40 hours. God bless her soul if she did, but that's just not the case.
Yeah. Right.
And I think my body's taking a toll for it, man. I've been running around this place, in every meeting with everyone, just trying to, make sure I got a good pulse on the work. So that's not true. And then in regards to the idea that that if the parents, they don't get, we got to just go back to the process and look at the data.
So what she's saying is you're not suspending so a student can get into a fight, and then if you can't reach the parents, they don't get punished.
No, that's not what's occurring. So again, the building level principal can suspend a student up to 5 days. After that, when it comes to me, it's a superintendent's hearing where they go through a process where they formally look at the charges, they formally vet the information. It's a multi-pronged approach.
It's possible a 5-day suspension has already been served prior to the suspension.
If it comes to me, it already has been served.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
And sometimes it's excess of 5, so it's already happening. Then they go through the hearing process. You look at the facts as they are, and then there's a recommendation made. But again, one of the attributes or characteristics that I bring that I champion is that I'm really a data guy, really a data guy. So I don't go based on the hearsay. When I heard these things, I said, "Oh my God, am I really doing this?" I said, "Oh my God, I said, am I doing this?" I said, "Let me go actually look at the data and the numbers." And then I said, "Let me look at the numbers last year. Let me look at the numbers this year." I said, "Oh my God, we're actually trending in the wrong direction. We're actually spending more this year. We got to get a hold to this problem. What's happening?" So that's why it's like when I hear these things, it's like, where are these fallacies coming from? Because I look at the actual data that we use to drive the decisions we make at this level. I can't go based on the hearsay or what someone heard in the grocery store. This is the information that I'm looking at.
A lot of negativity and comments come from anecdotes.
So you don't get your data from the emails sent to you by Howard Potter?
Oh, man, I'm not going there.
Okay.
I'm not going there.
I just wanted to clear that up. Any more?
Lance just said something to you about if you or your wife would have compared him to Karam, I would see your point, but like the infamous Potter, it was Lapola. He's gone, unfortunately.
Karam is the same boat. I feel like they're interchangeable. Both were doing it is. So I want to ask you, after the shooting that occurred, and this was before you, that happened at the football game. The security guard was shot. Thankfully, it was not fatal, and he recovered very well. But it was a very scary moment, a very scary day. We had the security guard in, and he made a statement, and I was very inspired by it, but I almost feel like you don't agree with it completely, and I'll explain. So he said, you must get these kids early before they are consumed by the streets, if you will. And I would think that you may agree with that in part, but you're not giving up. If I'm correct, you're not giving up on those kids when they're 13, when they've been consumed by the streets. You're not willing to give up on those kids.
So what I'm saying is, he was correct in his assertion that we have to wrap our arms around the challenges that these students face.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a little. Y'all getting a good interview today. I'm going to give you some anecdotal evidence.
All right.
I grew up in a neighborhood, crime-ridden neighborhood. Drugs was the primary economy in the building I lived in. I grew up on the 35th floor in a building that had over 4,000 people in there. High concentrations of chronic unemployment. The skill set that I learned in order to survive in a neighborhood like that, under-resourced in many places, you have to learn how to first survive the environment before you even get to the school.
Yeah.
The difference with me and my story is, and not many people know this, is that my mother was an educator. And even though she worked in that district, my mother did things to get a different address, so I had an opportunity to be educated outside my neighborhood. And I learned and I saw different things, and I was with kids that had different experiences. And so when I grew up, the schools that we had, they were failing. Before you went there, you knew what the outcome was. You didn't need to. You knew statistically that you were not going to go to graduate. You'd be in jail. That was the reality. And this was before we started the federal legislation change where you said, you got to look at student subgroups. You're going to be held accountable schools for all the students that you have. So we got a lot of kids that are learning how to survive the neighborhood from which they emanate the best way that they can with the resources they have at their disposal. And so as a school district in the business of educating children, the challenge is we don't want to get to a point where we create this barometer that we measure the types of students that we want to educate. We want to only educate the kids that come from a 2-parent home. We want to only educate the kids that that come from this environment because they're easier to educate. That's just a part of the work, but the real work, again, is getting those kids that come from these unfortunate backgrounds and providing them with the safe space and tools so that they can be successful. Now, you don't got to take my word for it. They'll say, Dr. Spence is crazy. Look at the Harlem Children's Zone Project. Look at, urban reform that happened in Buffalo, that's going on in different parts of the state, my colleagues that are doing this work. The idea is that we're taking this budget that we have, that everyone talks about, because the fallacy is that, they got all this money. The money belongs to the children. Let me say that publicly. The money belongs to the children. It's the pot of money that I have to organize activity to support the children. We are here to support learning. We are here to support students. We are here to meet them where they are. Now, I also want to be very careful to say is everyone focuses on the deficit that the kids, what they don't bring. But no one talks about the assets that they do bring. We can't talk about, we love diversity. We have all these languages and people, but you don't talk about the diversity and the triumph and the resilience and the perseverance that they do bring. The fact that the kid is still coming to school in spite of the challenges that they have.
Yeah.
So we don't want to tell that story. We don't want to talk about the kid had to go through all of this just to get to school. God knows what happened last night, and they still came to school. But we want to focus on the kid is having a difficult time regulating their emotions. When we see adults have a very difficult time regulating their emotions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a champion for kids. I'm going to work to make sure that kids have an opportunity. Now, I got to say this clear so people understand. That doesn't mean that I'm saying I'm not holding kids accountable. Let me say that clearly for the viewing public. We are going to hold kids accountable by providing them with the tools necessary. We're going to hold the system accountable by providing faculty and staff with the tools that's necessary to help wrap our arms around these people so that they become productive members of the Utica city. Again, depending on where you are in the spectrum, we can just say it very plainly. We want to make sure that they are productive members of society and not an undue burden to the taxpayer, if I got to say it for my folks that lean on the other side. So that's our job. That's the work that we're doing. This is why, from this organizational standpoint, I've taken a different approach. I've met with every community leader that I possibly could. I've looked at the organizations that we have that we're working with. I've been more community facing because I'm saying we can't do it by ourselves. Everybody has a role. The city has a role. The city has a role in public safety.
Yeah.
The kids that I get are a byproduct of the circumstances to which they're involved in. The things, and then I also got to say this point too, is that people think that schools are disconnected from the macro level factors in society. You don't think that a poor economy, parents working more hours, and high inflation, increase in rent, you don't think that has an impact on the families that are going through the system? Sure it does. And the school has to organize itself in a way that we can support the kids so that I can get them the baseline competency so that they can be successful and employable. My job, and I say this very clearly, is to make sure that the kids that leave my district have a better chance at enjoying this American life than anybody else. And I hope every other superintendent has that idea. I'm making sure that my kids are the first ones to be accepted into the colleges that they want to go to, the first kids to be employed. That's the framework that I approach this work with. And so we're going to work to support our young people, and we're going to work to support our faculty and staff. And to be even clearer, since I've been on the show, what do I keep saying? We're going to work in collaboration with, because it's not just I don't have a magic wand. We want to do this together, us and the community. And the parents play a role in that too. They're going to be a part of this process as well. So that's the work. We can't simplify this. This is the work, and that's what I'm standing on.
Not an easy thing to do, but Lance and Lee saying, I like this guy, but my money would be on him kicking Habaika's ass.
And on that note, we will call it a day. Thank you.
Thank you all for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Spence.
Quick break. Bye. We'll talk a little football, although everything will pale in comparison after the last 15 minutes, in my opinion. We'll get to it coming up.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
We're your complete appliance center, Dave Hayes.
Level up your cooking capabilities with a KitchenAid electric induction range. The induction cooktop offers precise control for a full range of cooking techniques. In the oven, even heat, true convection, and air fry mode allow you to brown and crisp your favorites. See the range that combines the precision of induction with the power of air fry at Dave Hayes Appliance Center, 5168 Commercial Drive, Yorkville, or online at davehayesappliance.com.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
If you thought about a bed you can make soft and firm on each side before you buy one anywhere, shop the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort at Mattress Express. Compare features, compare price, and compare warranty. 5 years, no interest, no money down for qualified buyers.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
The new year means new health goals, not just for your body, but your finances too. Your personal info is in so many places that are outside of your control. It only takes one mistake, and not even your mistake, to expose you to identity theft and lost funds. If your identity's stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back, and resolve to make identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
You said bye-bye to big government. Now it's time to trim the fat from Big Wireless. Pure Talk gives you the exact same service. They use the same cell towers, the same 5G network. You get better customer service, and you pay half the price for the exact same thing. Get unlimited talk, text, 15 gigs of data with mobile hotspot for just $35 a month. Make the switch. You simply dial pound 250. You say the keyword save now. Save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
I think I believe the key sometimes to doing a solid interview and really finding out who it is that you're talking to. I believe the key to that is sometimes not saying anything.
Yep.
And just
let them go.
Listening. I was incredibly impressed. I truly believe that the city of Utica School District is in good hands with that man.
I agree.
And he has a world of experience that I didn't even realize. And wow, that was damn impressive. I think anyway. Obviously, you be the judge, and I know people will be, but wow. Okay, Steve Cully is in studio. I've got Scott and Kirkville on the line right now. These are football people. Scott meets Steve. Steve meets Scott. Good morning.
Hey, Steve. How you doing? Hello.
Am I on now?
You're
you
on
love
now.
muting.
Yeah.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, Steve. How you doing, buddy?
I am living the dream.
So you know, Scott, Steve played for UConn. You were a linebacker?
Lineman.
Right, that
What
makes
year?
sense.
99-04, sir.
Ah, okay.
You would definitely be a lineman today. You put on a few pounds.
Put on a few, but thank you, Bill.
You're not
Thank
as
you.
quick as well. So have I.
Jeez. Boy, he's starting off hot.
It's the
Shots
pot
fired.
calling the kettle black right here.
Yeah, the pot's calling the kettle black.
So, but you then also went on. You went to Europe.
I did. I went to NFL Europe. Yes, NFL Europe.
He played. So he played NFL Europe as well. So
Canadian Football League.
Wow.
So he's a football player, and you coached other places too.
I coached at Holy Cross, Colgate, and Dartmouth for 10 years.
Okay.
Speaking of Colgate, they got a great coach. I mean, coming
Yeah,
from
Fitzsimmons
Cortland,
is going to do a good job there.
Excellent job. I like getting coaches that probably are upgrading the facilities. When they hired, they were thinking about hiring Scott Frost from Oregon.
Correct.
And instead of Babers, I said he's going to come here, and he's so used to Nike money over at Oregon. This is going to be a step down where Babers. It was a Bowling Green, so it was actually a step up with equipment. So I think he's going to do a great job at Colgate.
Yeah.
What do you think of the year Syracuse had this year?
Syracuse was the smartest by bringing in Kyle McCord. Having a quarterback changes everything.
It does.
You
Yeah.
cannot win in college football without a college.
Look at
without
how
a
it
quarterback.
completely changed. Really, when you think of, and Scott, think about this. Think of when Syracuse has been good and when they have been competitive.
Donovan McNabb.
I mean, you go back, McNabb and
Donnie McPherson.
and even coming
Troy
forward,
Nunes.
even coming forward into more modern times, they were at least competitive when they had what was his,
Ryan Nassib.
You had quarterbacks that were leaders. And without that, it just doesn't.
Well, the problem is they cost a lot of money too.
The other,
now.
well, now especially, and the other part of this is that really is pretty much the same in the NFL.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
You have to have an elite
look at Josh Allen.
quarterback. Yes.
Mahomes.
Yes.
It pains me to say that, but
yes, you have to be elite.
Yeah. So, Scott, what are you? We're going to make our picks here. Do we want to do this right now?
Yeah.
Not that it
I don't know that
matters.
I mean, Davies won.
Davies already won.
Oh,
So-
Davies wrapped it up.
The Eagles.
Did you help him out this year with that?
No, actually.
Yeah, deny.
Full transparency. I helped him out in game. That's where, to me, betting before the game, it's almost like going to a movie and not knowing what the movie is. It allows you to look at the coming attractions and decide if you want to pay for that movie.
Good analogy.
To me, the in game. That's where I helped out Davey, where I watched the games
in game. So that didn't affect us at all.
No, not at all. It's like, Steve, you're an offensive lineman. The first thing I look at, who's controlling the line of scrimmage, offense and defense. And if I can tell in the first 10 minutes who wants to be there and who doesn't want to be there, it makes predicting.
Well, it sets the tone. It sets the tone.
Although adjustments made at halftime seemed to play a huge role.
Yes.
Scott, here's my pick, and I believe the Eagles will play the Bills in the Super Bowl.
All right, so you're picking Eagles and Bills.
Yes. All right. And I don't think there's any. I feel like there's a different feel, and it reminds me of like 1988, 89 with the Buffalo Bills. I feel like it has been put together. and there is a feel of there's a change, a building of a potential dynasty.
You know, the Bills weren't in the Super Bowl in '88 or '89. Right?
I know that.
Oh, okay.
I know that, but I feel these last few years have been leading up to like in those late 80s, early 90s that's when Jim Kelly came in. That's when Marv Levy came in. Thurman Thomas.
Bennett,
all
Bruce
of that happened.
Yes.
And there's your base, and it finally happened.
They clicked. Yes.
And I believe that clicking has happened here for the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
So you're going to question me again?
I am not going to question you again.
All right. Anybody else? What do you think?
I really don't want to go with the Eagles, but I will, and I really
want to go with
I want to go with the Bills, but I don't want to bet on them and jinx them.
Okay.
So I'm going Chiefs.
All right. You know, Scott, on Sunday we'll be at Waterfront Grill in Herkimer.
Pains me to do so, by the way.
For a great event. And, you know, Rocky's been shut down for a couple of weeks where they had a terrible water main break in there.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
yeah. And they'll be reopened. It's 1 to 5 on Sunday. And it's a $30 ticket. You get food. You get a chance at prizes and all sorts of football memorabilia. It's a tailgate party, and it is awesome, and it benefits charity. Rocky Fiato, Barb Fiato, and Mayor Mark Butler will be there on Sunday.
Well, you always know he's going to have great food, and in the summertime, you come for the food and stay for the tour. So it's a great place in the summertime, and it's great food. I still like that. First of all, real quick, I want to thank producer Dave for the legwork. We got the person from Meals on Wheels for my that did my contributions. I wanted to help thank the producer Dave for running the person down and setting it up. So thanks.
So you make a charitable contribution, much with the money that he wins in football.
Oh,
yeah, really.
I like that.
Deed.
I like that. That's nice of you, Scott.
Paying it forward in a positive way.
Scott, what do you think is going to happen this week?
Okay, first of all, full transparency. You can play teasers, and I had Ohio State all over the map, and I got 2 open teasers. I'm trying to middle the Buffalo Kansas City game when there was 1.5. I added 6 points to the Bills 1.5 to make them a plus 7.5, and then they subtracted Kansas City to make them a 4.5 point underdog. So if the Bills win, I hope they win by less than 4. I can win both sides. If the Bills win, if Kansas City wins by less than 7, but Ohio State was my big play, guys, last week, if you remember. We had over team totals 27. They couldn't score 28 against Notre Dame, and then we had the Bills team total. I said they can't score 27. They weren't going to win the game against the Ravens. I think the Bills team total of 23 is a good play. 13 out of 14 weeks in a row, 13 out of 14, the Bills have gone over their team total. And I think I'd also like, our prop bets hit last week. We had Kelsey, Gibbs, and Laporta. And I think this week, look at the tight ends. I think both tight ends for Buffalo are going to be big. Yep. And I think, of course, Kelsey's big. Kincaid. And look for Eckler for the Washington Commanders to have a big day. Right. I think they're going to be Dan's going to be running for his life sometimes, so he's going to be checking down that. So he can get over 3 receptions. I think that's Eckler's going to get 3 receptions. And
okay,
I'm hoping the Bills win. That'd be great for this area. And I do have a girlfriend who's a big Kansas City fan, and so producer Dave. So I don't want to sleep on the couch too long, guys.
All right,
so if they
fair
win,
enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. Davey, what are you taking?
And she is a big Chiefs fan. I've seen it firsthand. I'm going to take the Eagles and the Bills.
I feel the same way. Yeah, Cully.
The Buffalo has been waiting for this for years, like you said. This year, it has all come together.
There's a different Josh Allen has a different mentality right now.
Josh Allen is at a different level.
Yeah.
He is special. They are going to go into Kansas City. They are going to get the monkey off their back, and they are going to be victorious, and they are going to go to the Super Bowl because this is the year for the Buffalo Bills. They have a great running game. Joe Brady is the offensive coordinator. Has done an outstanding job since he took over for Ken Dorsey. Defensively, they will figure it out. Sean McDermott has done a wonderful job as calling the defense. I think the Chiefs have been winning. They have not been winning with style points. Last week was an anomaly. Buffalo beat them during the season. It's tough to beat teams twice, but they are going to do it. I firmly believe. And then on the other side, it's not even going to be close. Frank Cristiano, I got to go with you. I'm back on the reservation. The Commanders are going to beat the Eagles.
Wow.
Jalen Hurts cannot throw the ball. Jalen Hurts struggled last week to throw for 60 yards or whatever. They lived and died with the running game. You shut down the Eagles from running the ball. That Washington defense can do that. Make Jalen Hurts beat you in the passing game. A.J. Brown, the top right wide receiver, was reading a book during the playoff game because they can't throw the ball. They can't throw the ball. When you're one-dimensional in the playoffs, your quarterback isn't elite. Your quarterback can't put your team on their back and take them to victory.
He says it gets him into a good place.
Well, I think he
place and a time.
That could be true, but I think it was sending a message of frustration that I am a big play, one of the best receivers in the NFL, and I am not being utilized.
Yeah.
And if he's not being utilized, if they can't pass for over 200 yards, they don't have a chance. Jaden Daniels, as a rookie, I have never seen a more calm, cool, and collected rookie who's a great decision maker, who can run. Offensively, the offensive coordinator has done a fantastic job building around him with the zone read option game. They run a lot of wide receiver screens, and Jaden Daniels can pull the ball down and run. They have an outstanding running game, an outstanding defense. It's going to be Washington and Buffalo.
And Steve, Cliff Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator.
Cliff Kingsbury, yes,
there.
from Texas Tech and the former head coach of the Cardinals. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
What are Wayne?
I don't
Jake
have
and Larry's
Wayne's.
pick?
I got to get them. Not that it matters. Davies, for those who don't know, it's a pick'em contest we did all year long. Davey is
For all
like
intents and purposes, he won
10 points ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
I have Jake and Larry both like the Eagles. Jake likes the Bills. Larry likes the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Larry, that's a
they're
bad.
both
Larry's
Eagles.
Larry's a Bills fan too.
Eagles for both Jake and Larry. Jake likes the Bills. Larry likes the Chiefs.
All right.
Okay, and then Wayne, call up.
Scott, anything you want to add here? You've made some great picks this year.
I forgot Scott was on the line. Oh, I'm so sorry.
A couple things that would be interesting to see about the play calling. To understand Washington's play calling when they get inside the 5-yard line, especially when they got a mobile quarterback. Go back to Tampa Bay. They had 14 plays inside the 5-yard line, and it couldn't score. And I don't understand Kansas City sometimes. They had a 1st and goal at the 8. You got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and the first play is a trick play. They lose 8-9 yards. And if you watch Kansas City this year, and they get inside the 10, the red zone, they have more troubles than outside the 20. So
yeah, Scott,
what the play calling is going to be.
I can tell you because I coached from a coaching perspective. Red zone offense and goal line offense is completely different. It's very, very difficult to execute. You have to know defensively if they're playing man coverage, there's only one zone coverage you can play at the goal line, and that affects the routes that you run. If the team blitz, that affects what you do. Some teams like to spread them out and run the ball or throw a quick screen. Others like to run man beaters or throw fades. I think the play calling for Washington, they're going to run a lot of zone read option to get the ball in. For Buffalo, Josh Allen does a fantastic job. Josh Allen, they do a lot of quick game with him. It's called an RPO, run pass option. He'll look to either throw the ball. If the inside linebacker leaves the box to cover the slot receiver, he'll go on a quarterback draw. That's one of their top plays. Josh Allen is incredible at reading and executing those schemes.
I think
they will be fine.
He almost tossed the ball back. At one point, he was in trouble, and he almost tossed it back because he was about to go down.
He was gonna.
I saw him do an interview on this. Pitch it. I saw him interview on this, and he said, "You know what? The good side of me made the right choice. I decided not to do that. That was the old me."
He did.
Scott,
he did.
Thank you for your insight, and hopefully we're including the Buffalo Bills in our talk next week. All right.
Yeah, but we said it's between the 20s like golf. You putt for dough inside the 20, and you drive for show between the 20s.
Right.
I think you're right.
All right.
A whole different ballgame.
Go Bills, go Bills, go Bills. All right, thank you, Scott. Have a great weekend. Remember, Waterfront Grill on Sunday at 1 p.m. Check it out.
Hi, this is Scott Hayes.
And this is Jill Hayes from New York Sash.
You know, honey, the first time you said, never let a window salesperson into your home, I thought you were nuts. But you were right.
Like there was really any doubt.
Seriously, so many people have told us how nice it is to shop in our beautiful showroom where there's never any high pressure.
Yep, and it's even nicer when we can help people save.
Like right now, buy 2 New York Sash windows and get 1 free.
We get slow during the winter, and we need to stay busy, so you get the best deal we make all year. Buy 2 windows, get 1 free.
Buy 4, get 2 free.
Buy 6 windows, get 3 free. There's no end to the savings.
And there's no need to invite a pushy salesperson into your home. Instead, stop by the New York Sash Idea and Design Center, where you can browse at your convenience.
We're open Monday through Saturday on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
Buy 2 windows, get 1 free. But it ends Monday, so come in today. And as always,
let our family take care of your family.
We're your complete appliance center, and we service what we sell. Dave Hayes.
Pack a more powerful clean with a Maytag dishwasher. Get serious cleaning strength with enhanced wash for more water and heat. Plus sandy rinse to deliver a confident clean and heated dry with fan to dry dishes completely. Even fit bulky dishes with an adjustable upper rack. Shop Dave Hayes Appliance Center, 5168 Commercial Drive, Yorkville, or online.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
He'll soon take a trip to disaster areas. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump will survey the wildfire damage in Los Angeles after his first stop this morning, flood-ravaged areas of North Carolina.
It feels like we're finally being heard for the first time in 4 months.
Matt Van Swal tells Fox he and other flood victims are frustrated with the slow federal response. Fox's Jackie Heinrich reports from Asheville.
This community is still recovering from Hurricane Helene, which hit in late September. The Japanese restaurant behind me is in ruins. There are still, there's rubble all over the parking lot. And also, early this month, about 3,000 people were reportedly told that their hotel vouchers were expired.